Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the WardiTV Monday. WardiTV Monday number 94. I'm, of course, just VIP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players and other people in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all, to our weekly dose of WardiTV action. Let's go, baby. Let's go again. We are, of course, post Home Story Cup and post GSL CK. By the way, if you did miss out, I do highly recommend the VOD. GSL CK was amazing last night, and I mean, I say amazing, it was definitely something. It was ended up all over Reddit, baby, all over Reddit, in regards to what transpired during that event. So I do highly recommend checking it out. It was a lot of fun, especially when in regards to the player interviews afterwards. Seeing ByuN's puppy, of course, hopping around his apartment was very, very cute. And again, do recommend GSL CK number 5 from last night. But otherwise, we're going to be settling into our weekly Open Cup. Now, because a bunch of players are still traveling from Germany, from Home Story Cup, because of that, there's a very heavy Korean bracket. Exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. Let us go. Let us head on over here to our bracket. As you can see here, it is very, very Korean focused, as we have ByuN, Nightmare, herO, Trap, SHIN, Christiana, Classic, and Percival. Again, we have our top 8 players here for the event, and it is purely Korean except for one non-Korean, our foreign hope. It is Christiana. Christiana versus SHIN is currently ongoing. I believe that's going to be covered by Wardy. Meanwhile, we are going to be focusing on our PvT, covering ByuN versus Nightmare. Let's go. Let us go. By showing as part of the Zerk, well, what do you mean? We casted the event, Pap. Casted the event. Do recommend checking it out. If you want to hear our thoughts about the event, then do check the VOD. Check the VOD, watch the VOD. Again, we were the official English casters for the GSL CK. True. Can't check it out. It's already on YouTube, actually. True. Already on YouTube. But again, with that, we do have our top 8. We have our top 8 players here, and we're going to be jumping into our TVP between ByuN versus Nightmare. herO versus Trap, currently ongoing. Classic versus Percival. I was tempted to jump onto Classic versus Percival, but I also recognize that Wardy is in the SHIN series, so I did want to try to spread out a little bit more and cover some of the other matches instead. Bearing in mind for this event, we are going to be covering the semifinals one at a time. So once one is ready, we'll be hopping on over into said semis, and we'll be able to cover both semifinals one after the other. Let's go. Round 16, all 2-0 scores. I mean, there's a reason why we did go live a little bit later here. The round 16 is usually where a bunch of amateur players do compete, and a big shout out to all the amateurs, by the way. Big shout out to the amateur players for competing, to taking part, or amateurs or semi-pros, I should emphasize, as the first round is typically a little bit more one-sided, typically. But now, you know, we're able to sink our teeth into round number 2. This is a little bit different for other events. Like, I'm thinking of Kung Fu Cup, for example, which is a lot more intense and a little more chaotic. The reasoning for that is because Kung Fu Cup doesn't seed. So in Kung Fu Cup, you can get like Clem versus herO in round 1, like unironically, like that's happened before, which is crazy. When it comes to an event like this, it is semi-seeded. I say semi-seeded. The way that Wardy does seeding is he only seeds the top 4 players from the previous week. So it's like some light seeding, if you will, in the WardiTV Mondays. Let's go. Let us go. But in regards to the first round, I don't want to gloss over it too much. I do want to give a shout out to Starbuck. Starbuck, he has been retired for a very, very long time, and okay. So it's just some banter going on in the chat. But really cool to see Starbuck returning. He's been retired for a very, very long time. But I think this is his first time playing in years, actually. So really cool to see Starbuck. Did get knocked out in the first round, but we might be seeing more of Starbuck in the future. Maybe. We'll get into it. As so far, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Lockdown, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Nightmare. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we're delving into our own TVP, so you can check it out, of course. When it comes to the event itself, coming into this, ByuN is going to be the favorite player here. But Nightmare did recently actually qualify for RSL. We, of course, covered that qualifying match. So really cool to see Nightmare returning and doing well for himself. Still, I would say, is one of the more inactive players, and still has a ways to really build up again. You know, he's more of a semi-active player. He plays every now and then in events and tournaments. We'll see how we can compare it to someone who's more regular, someone who's more active in someone like ByuN. So like ByuN, let's go. So getting for in the chats, best of luck with those predictions with that gamba, as we are going to be opening up on Lockdown. Now welcome one and all. Lockdown is a map where you're much more stable and secure in 2 bases. You do have a ramp coming into the natural. It's very difficult to push up this ramp, so your 2-base setup is very secure. It's the 3rd base, which is also relatively secure as well, to be honest. It's also on the high ground as well. Getting to a 4th base, you do start to spread yourself a little bit more thin, but your initial 3-base setup is relatively safe. What I will say is that this area in between the bases can be abused, but that's what the cooling towers are for. Again, these towers are destructible. You can close this area up completely. You can start to wall off on 3 bases here. So we do typically expect to see some mid-game play on Lockdown. We'll see if we can get there. First things first, economic opener out of ByuN, going for a single gas, ranks expand out of our Terran player, as the probe is going to get caught out. A nice catch here by ByuN. So far, a slightly better start. Checking the vision here, Nightmare did see the main base. He was able to get a full scout, but did lose that worker. ByuN is getting map control. Meanwhile, across the map, we'll see how Nightmare does approach this. Cybercore is now done. From here, we can get into our tech of choice, most likely Twilight Council. We have been seeing some players mix in Stargate play or Robo play. We have seen a bit of diversity, a little bit, so we'll see if Nightmare does indulge in that, or if we just go for a standard Stargate opener instead. Due to the changes, we have seen that actually 2-gate blink is quite safe, especially pre-warp gate. What I mean by that, if you decide to not actually warp your gateways into warp gates, leave them as regular gateways with the warp gate research and have faster warp ins, I believe we have been seeing players get away with greedier builds even against aggressive options with only 2 gateways, just because of the increased production and increased units you have. Obviously the downside is that you don't have reactive warp ins to defend against drops, so that can be a little bit harder, but we have seen that with that increased production, 2-gate openers are safer than they used to be. True. They are much safer, and there it is going to be Twilight Council. We have 2 gateways so far. We're building up into bases, and we'll see if Nightmare commits into additional gateways. We shall see. Meanwhile, ByuN setting up for his mine drop, going for his own 1-1-1 into Widow Mine production, into drop play across the map. Now we'll see if ByuN only moves out with the Widow Mines, or if he does go for a Marine Widow Mine drop, which would be a lot more committed. So far, ByuN is setting up. Settling in. See if Hallucination does poke in, does pull away. Pokes in, pulls away, does get a full scout, does confirm the 1-1-1, and is aware of what's coming his way. But again, we'll see how committed this is going to be from ByuN. So far, it looks like only a Widow Mine drop. Okay. So not too committed here. At the same time, back at home, it is 2-gate. Yep, 2-gate blink into a 3rd expansion from Nightmare. And as we mentioned, again, these gateways are not warped into warp gates. As I mentioned, this has become now the new kind of meta, the new kind of standard opener in PvT. Is 2-gate blink into the 3rd, no warp gates, faster production, safer play. And we'll see if Nightmare can keep up with the aggression here. The Hallucination does spot the Widow Mine. You see Stalkers getting ready here at the natural. ByuN, he does rotate over towards the main. Main base is more exposed. But Stalkers, they rotate in time. Oh my god! He commits! He commits here. The medevac is going to go down. Massive pickoff. Massive pickoff. The medevac does fall. Widow Mines there waddle in. And we'll get 1, maybe 2 probe kills. Oh my god! That was close, that was clutch. 2 probes go down. A very nice defense here by Nightmare, as that was not worth it for ByuN, and not losing his medevac of all things. Ay. So a clean defense here, and Nightmare is able to mine in his main, claim his 3rd expansion, and get away with a greedier build. So far a better start for Nightmare. ByuN back at home, building up his own bio, going for his own 3-1-1 setup, into bio, into sim, into tank production. We are getting there. Meanwhile, Nightmare, now that he's up with the initial drop, he can now contain. The goal here is to just gain map control, contain his opponent. High ground vision will allow for blinking into the main base, going for stim. Ooh, does miss the 2nd volley there. The tech lab is getting low, and it looks like the stim is going to be denied. Yeah, massive pick off. Stim is going to get picked off. We'll lose one, we'll lose two Stalkers. Oh, so some heavy losses in the process here. Does he lose three? He does. Three Stalkers go down for Stim, but there was no backup tech lab. We have to go for the Admiral swap here, so a nice delay here. This will contain ByuN a little bit further, but it was a costly trade here for Nightmare. It was costly losing those three Stalkers. So a bit of a back and forth. ByuN being cheeky, wants those Stalkers. He wants them. Oh! Late reaction. Yeah, late reaction. One Stalker goes down. That should not have happened. And Nightmare, he reacts 1 second too late. And again, that Stalker count is getting low. These have been some expensive losses for Nightmare, losing now 4 Stalkers. Doesn't sound like a lot, but this early on, like every little bit does count. You are stuck with a low gateway count. Every unit does mean that much more. And now we're warping the warp gates. So charge is on the way. We're going for a gateway heavy style. We're not rushing into a bay, into Colossal production. So no splash damage, not yet. ByuN has yet to move out. And remember, Stim is delayed. So with delayed Stim, there's no real presence here for ByuN. So for now, going to be stuck at home, building up into bases. And we're waiting for that eventual move out, which again is going to be more delayed here. Yeah, third TC here for ByuN, so no 2 base all in. He will expand. He's building up, he is expanding. Oh, nice scouts. Nightmare does spot the drop. At the same time, distracted on the right hand side, catching out 3 probes. 3 probes do go down, drop into the main. Nice try here by ByuN. Now remember, Nightmare, he saw the drop earlier, and there's nothing in position here. He does have a battery to buy some time. He does have his warp gates ready. And we'll see who strikes first. But now again, ByuN is just stuck at home until he can expand. Built into his third, another auto turret, getting 1 more probe, getting 2. 2 more probes going down. Observer gets caught. ByuN does some siege. And Nightmare trying to catch out the army, trying to at least spot the move out. It's still very tense here as Nightmare is ready in the main base for the drop. Army gets spotted. Nightmare pulls away, medevac is activated. Zelsa pullback, a Raven into the third base, drop into the main. Nightmare, he does react into blink. Oh my god! And he does catch the medevac. Full medevac goes down at the same time. 3 probes do fall. Again, this is still nice damage with the Raven. 9 probe kills in total. Zelsa trying to come in from behind. Looks like, ooh, a Zelsa get caught out. So that group of Zelsa earlier was caught. So some rough losses here for Nightmare, bleeding out Zealots. Nightmare's in trouble. And trying to go for another warp in. Nightmare has to pull away. And Nightmare, he does have 1 Colossus so far. No warping yet. Getting a second. Yeah, there it is, going for a Zealot warp in. The army has already arrived. Tanks are moving in. They get within range of the Nexus. They're getting within range. The Nexus is gonna go down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Nightmare, he cannot keep up. Not with this. They can't bled out so much earlier. Zealots, they can maybe try to catch reinforcements, so there's plenty at home to defend. Yeah, the Zealots, they shouldn't get much done. And again, losing those 8 Zealots earlier was brutal. It meant that Nightmare couldn't pounce on the army. Couldn't jump on the tanks. Colossus is going to be zoned away. Stalkers in the main base. They do defend against the drop. But again, there's no 4th expansion. Nightmare, he's falling behind economically. Nightmare, he needs a 4th base to be even with ByuN. Zealots take 5 SCV kills. They don't really get much for themselves. ByuN is starting to outscale. ByuN just has to be careful here to respect the Colossus, respect the army. Just calm down. Yo, let's go. Nightmare going for bottom right. I mean, a little bit desperate. Nightmare, he has to do something. Crouching on top of the tanks, he'll get 1. Yeah, 1, 2 tanks will go down. Decent engage here from Nightmare. But he cannot get on top of those Marauders. He has to be careful. Pulls away. Pulls away. Hey, catching out the Raven. Raven gets caught. ByuN pulls back. Behind this, switching into Vikings and Ghost production. So Ghost for EMPs, Vikings for that anti-air. As we're building up Vikings, thankfully Nightmare is switching into Disruptor production. So already working on that alternative answer here for the ByuN army. Second Robo, more Disruptors. But ByuN will be the first to max out. As I mentioned, economically, Nightmare has been far behind. His 4th base is so late. Without his 4th base, Nightmare cannot keep up with ByuN. Not like this. He cannot keep up. So Nightmare's looking for another way in. The best that the Nightmare can hope for here is just buy time. Just buy time and get a couple of Novas off, chip away at the army, and try to catch up in that supply. And then ideally, as ByuN moves out, we can pull off a counterattack. As you can see here, Zealots are amassing. Zealots are getting ready. So there are some chances, there are some opportunities here for a comeback for Nightmare. But the stars, they need to align. ByuN moves out. Zealots is still yet to be activated. Disruptor's getting ready. Novas going up. Just owning. Ooh, that was 2 Novas. Yeah, 2 Novas now on cooldown. Down to 3. Down to 2. Oh, down to 0. Oh my god, 1 Nova connects. Yeah, Novas, they do connect, but is it going to be enough here? Yeah, Rock's getting knocked down as well. Vikings are going to talent the Colossus. Every Colossus falls. The army just stems in, and now 0 splash damage. 0 damage left. No Colossus, no Disruptors. ByuN sims, and he wins. And he wins, baby. Again, Nightmare, who was hoping he would buy a little bit more time. Was a little bit too trigger happy with those Disruptors. With that ByuN saw an opening, he went for it. The base goes down, the army as well, and Nightmare, he has nothing left. Nothing remaining. Silver armor was dealt with. Didn't achieve anything. Disruptor's going to be getting picked up. And again, it was just a rough start for Nightmare. The moment they lost his 4th base, it was just downhill from there. Just a very rough road to recovery. Vikings, they land. And GG gets called. GG gets called. ByuN, he will take game number 1, taking a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, ByuN gaining a lot of momentum early on, able to get across the map, able to distract Nightmare. Bearing in mind that Nightmare initially had a decent start, but he bled out a lot of Stalkers, and he also bled out those 8 cells as well. That meant that he had less of a presence to spot the army, to delay the push, delay the move out, to engage ahead of time as well. ByuN, he was able to just walk across the map and siege up within range of the Nexus without being interrupted. We saw that Nightmare just wasn't able to keep up with the army, wasn't able to slow down ByuN. Once those tanks sieged up, especially because of the losses that Nightmare sustained, he could not engage, could not save that 4th base, and then again, it was just an uphill battle from there for Nightmare. As he was down in bases, down in economy. Down in bases, down in economy, and there were some opportunities for sure, as we mentioned. Zealot run by opportunities, Disruptor or Purification Nova opportunities as well. But we saw that only 1 Nova connected, and the Zealot run by was lackluster as well. GG. GG, well played. And with that, ByuN will take a lead in the series. We'll take a lead, and now we're going to be loading into game number 2. What are us? As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of at Attorney's Edge, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shalfar Rebellion, leading the series 1-0. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Nightmare. Let's go. Let us go. Happy Monday. Feliz lunes, papi. True. Bienvenidos. Bienvenidos. If we had 100 minutes, it will be Wednesday. True, like it is. Well, I just realized the joke from earlier, but yes. It's WardiTV Monday on Tuesday is soon to be Wednesday. True. It's fine. Don't worry about it. As this WardiTV Monday, I believe, was postponed due to Wardy returning from Home Straight Cup. Of course, I believe was in Germany, was at the event. So did have to fly back and recover from jet lag. That's why it's on a Tuesday instead. Okay, so good. As from here, once again, economic opener out of ByuN, going racks expand, a single gas opener out of our Terran player. Meanwhile, Nightmare, we're expecting once again just a gate cyber expand into Twilight Council until 2 gates set up, just like last game. Again, when it comes to the early game, Nightmare was looking solid. Remember, if you recall, he shut down the Widowmine drop. It was just in the aftermath of that where Nightmare did sustain a lot of losses, did lose map control, and was unable to delay the move out of ByuN. So we'll see how Nightmare does adjust, if at all. We shall see. As ByuN does scouts nearby. Remember, there's no SCV scout out of ByuN, no SCV scouts, and no Reaper either. So ByuN is cutting corners in his own way. Cutting corners. Working with limited information early on, and just settling in. Likewise, again, I hope everyone had a great weekend in regards to Home Story Cup and GSLCK as well. You guys had a great time. I've yet to go over Home Story Cup. We do plan on covering the replays this week, so going over those matches later on in the week. Of course, exciting to hear that Home Story Cup number 30 was announced to be another kind of like big anniversary, momentous event. Trying to mirror, or again, trying to live up to the hype that was Home Story Cup number 20. So best of luck to all those that are going to be traveling, of course. Is announced for next year in April. I'm very tempted to try to make something work for that, just because it's, I mean, you know, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but like I don't know if like a Home Story Cup 40 would be a thing and would be anywhere near as like big or successful. Like I feel like Home Story Cup 30 is going to be like a big milestone, big milestone for Home Story Cup for StarCraft. So I would say if you're, you know, local to the area, if you happen to be in Europe, and if you're a big fan of StarCraft, I feel like there's big reason to go, as ByuN does walk across the map. Oh my god. Yeah, it does walk across. We'll get 1 probe kill. We'll catch a sentry as well. Again, this random move out here by ByuN will get a lot of damage done here. 3 probes and a sentry. Oh my god. A crazy damage. The vanilla Marines, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Pappy Nightmare, he was caught with his pants down. No safety battery. Had no idea as to what was going on. And with that, once again, a rough start for Nightmare. Yeah, rough start for Nightmare. Now he starts his own counterattack back at home, if you recall. Oh, actually, he warps in warp gates. This is a little more aggressive. Much more aggressive where warp gates are warped in. Yep. Reinforcing pylon has been thrown down. Nightmare's being hyper aggressive. Again, if you recall, getting warp gates this quickly is pretty abnormal. It's pretty unnatural. So Nightmare, he's going to be able to warp in. We have the fast warp-ins. Here they come. 6 stalkers. No safety bunker. No safety bunker. But there's no blink. Matter of fact, trying to keep up. Nice sort of stepping here by ByuN. He does get 1. 1 stalker goes down. The bunker is still not yet done though. Yeah, bunker's not complete. Nightmare trying to punish, catching out some Marines. Does catch another. Does catch another. Yeah, 5 SCV kills, 6 SCVs even. A very nice counter damage, and with that, Nightmare, ooh, he will defend back at home. Okay, the reaction. Defends back at home, pulls away as well, kills 6 SCVs, so we do have a back and forth here, as Nightmare's claiming his 3rd, and it's going to be on ByuN to recover instead. Let's go. We're definitely not saying Home Story Cup 30 will be the last one. No one is saying that. What? No, I was referring to Home Story Cup 40. That's what I was referring to. Like, I was referring to not being certain as to what the scene will be looking like by the time we get up to Home Story Cup 40 in another 10 years or so. So I feel like 30 is going to be, of course, the big one for quite some time. Will you attend Home Story Cup 30? very low chance of that happening, but we'll see, we'll see, Pappy, we'll see. feel like Roddy usually streams when he gets home from his breakup, but he hasn't this week. Yo, I'm sure he's hung the hell over. Like, aye. Not like this, Bappy, not like this. But I don't know. I don't keep up with Roddy's stream schedule with what he does post home straight cup. No idea. Time for it, I think, skiing party. True. To a year? Not wrong. As ByuN does take over the center of the map, at the same time we do have our Banshee pushing on the right hand side, making its way towards the main. Likewise, we see Nightmare with the interception. Very nice. Detection is available. And the Banshee, I believe, should not make it into the main. One more volley. What a last. Oh, what a last, Pappy. He gets it just barely. Banshee gets shot down. Very nicely done. At the same time, a second Banshee into the natural, though. Nightmare did so good at catching out the first Banshee, but there's another that does hit the natural base. 3 probes going to be going down. Nothing too major here. Good reactions. Nightmare here will defend. Stalkers they blink, and the Banshee is trapped. But this will distract Nightmare, and while all these Stalkers are distracted, ByuN can start to move out. Yeah, here comes the move out. Naga Tower is under no one's control. ByuN rotating. As he does, we do have a Zealot Robber being set up. Zealot's gets spotted. ByuN is aware. He pulls back. And ByuN pulls back to defend. Stim is almost done. And who catches who? So we see Nightmare does take over the Naga Tower. Takes over the tower. 4th base now being taken. Colossus are amassing. Nightmare does spot the army. Rotating over. ByuN pulls back. Nightmare being a little bit too premature. Yeah, too premature here. He gets caught. Aye. Yeah, he needs to wait for a move out, and he did just move in too soon. And we once again already have that switch into disruptors. I believe it's 2. Yep, 2 Colossus. 2 Colossus into disruptors. Second Robo's on the way. I will say that this move out from ByuN is taking a lot longer because we've been having this back and forth kind of dance here between both players, trying to claim map control and spotting armies and trying to like backstab and counterattack. So ByuN isn't going to be able to move out across the map anywhere near as quickly. It's not as crisp of a timing. As a result, the 4th base is getting up. ByuN setting up his second eBay. Armory's on the way for 2-2. Once again, we have our spotter Zealots. Armory takes over the Naga Tower. And we are having a much slower approach this time. And this is looking a lot more comfortable for Nightmare as a result, right? Because of the passivity of ByuN, because it's been denied move out time and time again, Nightmare is actually going to be the first to max out this time. And you can see the difference here in dynamic and momentum comparing game 1 to game 2. Where game 1, ByuN was hyper aggressive, was very in the face of Nightmare, knocked down the 4th base, stopped him and slowed him down from trying to max out. And we saw that ByuN was able to gain map control, was able to gain momentum and be the first to max out and again make use of that aggression in game 1. Here in game 2, ByuN has been stuck at home. ByuN, he failed to push out across the map. He failed to push, failed to move out. Nightmare got his 4th base, and Nightmare is the first to max instead. Ooh, this is a little bit greedy here, but Nightmare, he is going for the gold. He's going for the gold. ByuN starting up his second starports, getting into double Viking production. As ByuN moves out, Zelza come in, getting into with the tank. He gets one. Yeah, 1 tank goes down. Not bad here from Nightmare. Oh, does actually move a little bit too far in though. Yeah, we'll lose all these Zealots. It's a couple of SCVs. So that was a bit of a costly trade here. I mean, Nightmare can afford to throw away Zealots. Ideally, when he gets a goal base, he can afford it. This is also another big feature of this map specifically, is that you have that goal base to boost the economy here for whoever has map control, and that's often Protoss in PvT. It's often the case. So the pressure is on ByuN. Pressure's on. Vikings, they do catch one Colossus. Not bad. Nova's they... Oh! Ooh, Crazy Army. Yeah, the Crazy Army. One Colossus goes down. There's one Colossus left. Zealots, oh, once again, they come in a little bit too soon. Zealots are premature. Banshee does scout the gold. Scouts go base. No detection. They could have been economic damage here. But at least ByuN is aware. And that is how many disruptors? 6. Yeah, 6 disruptors. Blinks in. He's crazy. Yeah, does wing forward. Novas, no major connections. Yeah, more Novas. They at least buy some time here. There's 2 Novas left. Those are the final Novas. And no major connections. With that, the Colossus goes down. The army sims in. Nightmare has to pull away. Oh, no detection. Uh-oh. Free damage of the Banshee. No detection. You can see ByuN, he was so tempted to stim in, to dive in the disruptors. He was tempted. But again, it's just free damage. Army gets bullied back. Again, ByuN doesn't know where the observer is, so he pulls back, but he could have totally gone for like 1 or 2 disruptor kills there. Where is the detection, by the way? There's still 0. Wait, what? there's still 0 observers. What's going on? Again, ByuN doesn't know this. He was playing it safe. But we could just be getting so much free damage here with that Cloak Banshee in the army. So as they begin, Novas, they... Ooh, a crazy army. Better Nova towards the end. We get some better Novas towards the end. More Novas going to be popping off. Oh my god, massive connections. Marauders, they go down. And we're getting messy. We're getting very messy here. Oof. As Zealot weapons continue on Nightmare, he is doing it. He's breaking this position, breaking the army, pushing into the natural. Getting to the mineral line, GG gets called, and Nightmare ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. We're getting into the ace match here again. Nightmare, unlike in game 1, he had more momentum, he had more map control, he was able to successfully get his 4th base up and running, gain map control, get the goal base up as well, and max out and just keep trading. Things looked a little bit shaky towards the end there, especially without any detection for sure, but we saw that he was still able to overwhelm the ground army, break on through, get more Zealot Warpins, and eventually push into the mineral line. GG. Or break that 3rd base specifically. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match. Going to be loading into game number 3. Let's go. Once again, I should also emphasize that this map is also just more punishing, referring to At Attorney's Edge. We spoke earlier about the gold expansion, how that does give a massive boost to typically Protoss players in PvT, and that also allowed for Nightmare to have that stronger follow-up and those stronger reinforcements as well that you typically expect in a more standard map. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into Rainfall. Rainfall is an interesting map in the map pool. Very small map, short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored. As a result, typically Terran players are more favored on Rainfall. At Attorney's Edge is typically better for Protoss players because of the gold base. Here, better for Terran due to the rush distance by ground. All-ins and aggression is going to hit that much stronger and that much harder on Rainfall. Let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Rainfall, we have the red Protoss player, sorry, red Terran player himself, the South Korean Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Nightmare. Let's go. Let us go. I see you thought in the chat, did Nightmare just kill his leading Stalker? He did. If you're referring to the moments when Nightmare pushed up the ramp towards the natural from the south side, he did kill his own Stalker. He had like 187 supply. I remember because when that happened, I quickly glanced at the supply to see if he was maxed and if it was like freezing supply. The answer is no, he was not maxed out. He just killed his own Stalker. I was going to bring attention to it, but like the army's engaged, so we just continued on. But yes, he did kill his own Stalker. Did happen. Striking fear into ByuN, killing his own units in front of him. Oh no. But here we go. From here, we're going to be opening up. Once again, welcome to Rainfall. The rain be falling. Not as hard as it was in TLMC, if you recall. In the Team Liquid map contest, the rain was falling harder, and we had massive puddles of water everywhere. It was causing a really distorted and really weird effect, depending on your settings. So, in the end, to help with that sort of thing, they did actually pull back, and they removed a bunch of the water effects. So, if you want to see Rainfall in all its glory, and if you want to see the rain fall, then do check out the VODs. Do check out the VODs of the TLMC or the Team Liquid map contest. but they toned it back quite a bit because previously this map was flooding basically. Like it was a lot of rain. It was a lot of water. It's crazy. Here we go. As from here, we're going ranks expand. Once again, economic opener, but ByuN does decide to go for a safer CC on the high ground. So a bit of a safer variation here by ByuN. Makes sense considering the shorter rush distance by ground. So ByuN, he does make a slight variation here because of the map with a slightly safer start. Slightly. They can't appreciate a good thunderstorm. Ah, they cannot. They cannot. But now though, once again, Twilight Council opener out of Nightmare, going to be going for his own standard opener of choice. Once again, we're expecting 2-gate blink. Last game, Nightmare did double down and go into extra warp gates early on, into a proxy pylon, into heavy aggression. Once again, we typically favor aggression on rainfall, so we'll see how our players do adjust, of course, whether we see additional gateways, whether we see faster warped in warp gates. But now though, Ranks expand, 1-1-1, wouldn't mind drop opener out of ByuN. So far, so standard. Nothing crazy yet. There's no like 3 racks follow up, or 2-on-1 variation, or 3 CC3 racks, or anything crazy like that, or a 3-1 setup. Like 3 racks is 1 factory. Everything so far is looking pretty tame. Alright, does scout nearby. Does check for proxy starports. Make sure there's no shenanigans. Safety robo out of Nightmare here. If you recall, in previous games, we didn't quite see the safety robo. We saw a faster second gateway. But here it's going to be gate at Twilight Council, robo, then second gate. So faster robo does, and even a safety battery as well. Very safe play out of Nightmare. This means early immortal production, early detection as well with the early observer. Nightmare playing very, very safe here. And the observer, sorry, the probe did, I believe, scout the initial medevac. Yeah, you can see he did scout the medevac. Nightmare with the interception. Ooh, does get the first volley up. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. Oh my god, medevac goes down. Massive catch, massive pickoff. The MVP probe. Crazy, man, crazy. Even picking up one of the widow mines, only 1 mine survives, and with that, a heavy shutdown of ByuN's opener. Ay, ay, ay. Nightmare, he defends well. And ByuN is forced back. Safety bunker, tank production, second racks. ByuN is staying at home, building up his forces. Oh. Hey, gets a stalker. Hey, gets something. It's better than nothing, to be honest. It's so snipes 1 stalker. Raven moves out. Oh, ByuN, he almost catches a stalker there. Nightmare was paying attention. You can see ByuN trying to tax the attention there of Nightmare. Trying to force mistakes. Cheeky moves. Observer pokes in, pulls back. Raven harass into the bases. Nightmare still looking for a way in. Still searching. Oh. Catching out a probe. ByuN gets 1 worker, gets a full scout, confirms the bay, confirms the Colossus production, gets eyes on the later third. Unlike the previous games, I believe that Nightmare, I mean, it makes sense. Remember, faster robo, faster bay, faster Colossus production compared to every other game in the series. So a heavier tech start from Nightmare. Oh, crazy. Be careful. Gets 1 Marine. Nice controller from Nightmare. Gets 1 Marine, pulls away. ByuN, of course, waiting for Stim. He's gonna be a little bit careful here, as I believe the tank is within range. Oh, barely not. Oh no! Every tank shot. Stalker's gonna be zoned away. They rotate towards the main base. There is an opening into the main. Unfortunately, cannot snipe Stim. Yeah, Stim does finish. Going for combat shields instead. I mean, will delay an upgrade. Not as impactful as Stim, but not bad nonetheless. Combat shields goes down. Likewise, catching out a medevac. Oh my god, there's a recall. We'll lose one, we'll lose two. Three? Two. Okay, 2 stalkers for combat shields and for a medevac. Well worth it. Well worth it for Nightmare. Not bad. This does soften up the army. It does mean that specifically the tanks are going to be more exposed, as now the Marine army or the Bio army is going to be less potent, less tanky. Nightmare's moving out. And ByuN stays home. He stays home. ByuN moving out with his drop. Nightmare trying to catch up the army. Tanks are further back. ByuN does cat back though. Yeah, cat's back to the tanks. Ooh, mine shot goes off. Losses that he ran down on the Widow Mines. Another Widow Mine connects. Oh my god, the tank shot as well. Yeah, Nightmare just flying a little bit too close to the sun. Takes a lot of hits to the face. So some messy engage here from Nightmare. At the same time, ByuN does slip into the main base. Stims on forward, goes to the Colossus. Oh, he gets one! Oh my god. Colossus goes down once again. Nightmare not paying attention. He was focusing back at home. He was distracted. Warp Gate's getting up and running. And ByuN, he did outtrade. He straight up did outtrade Nightmare. Extra tank loads on the Stalkers. Drop into the middle line. 7 probes going to be going down. Ay, ay, ay. Again, despite ByuN being stuck at home due to losing combat shields, he still outtraded and out-harassed Nightmare. And with that, ByuN, he's looking good. Looking comfortable. Looking very comfortable back at home. Now time to expand, claiming his third base. ByuN does take a lead, gains momentum. Nightmare is in trouble. Ideally, Nightmare would be here waiting for the move outs and will be here to delay the third, but alas, had to race back home. So a very, very rough mid-game here for Nightmare. Oh. With that, ByuN will be able to build up his forces. Now, what I will say is that at least Nightmare is getting his 4th base up and running. It's still not fully saturated, but Nightmare is getting there. So with this Nightmare, he can recover, build up his economy, start working towards disruptors. And we do have a bit of a lull here. As ByuN, he isn't moving out anytime soon. Waiting for Ghosts, Vikings, Armory, double star pro production, 2-2. And this is why I'm concerned. I mean, obviously, because ByuN was able to outtrade his opponents, Nightmare still has to take this time to recover economically and recover when it comes to his army. But soon, Nightmare can think about a 5th base and start thinking about maxing out. Already, Nightmare is throwing down pylons all over the map, gaining more map control. I will say that despite that, there's still going to be a very strong timing here and a very strong move out for ByuN. We mentioned this earlier, but the map is quite small. Short rush distance by ground. So even in a world where ByuN is maybe stuck at home and getting a 4th base, if ByuN can max out, if he can have a comparable army, then the reality is he can just walk across the map and in mere seconds he will be able to push into the bases. So very quickly things can escalate. Very quickly. Unlike on a larger map like Attorney's Edge, Nightmare doesn't have as much room between his bases and his opponent. Let's try to move in. Ooh, Prism into the main. Warp Intel's complete. Prism is going to go down, but still SCV's going to be falling. Yeah, catching out 10 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Massive Warp in there with the Prism. 14. Oh my, we're still not done. 16. The entire middle line goes down. 17 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the Zealot warping is brutal. Speaking of, more Zealots warping on the right hand side. Getting ready for a counterattack. And ByuN, he's being broken. Struggling to defend. Sometimes one Warp Prism is all it needs. Is all it takes. ByuN does spot the Zealots. Is aware. Once again, Nightmare just a little bit premature with this. But both armies are maxed. Vikings, they might catch a Colossus. Gets one volley. Oh. Yeah, 1, 2 volleys go off. 1 Colossus goes down. Nice pick up. 1 Colossus remaining. At the same time, Zelda into the mineral line, getting on top of the tank. Yeah, tank goes down, and likewise, nice friendly fire in the mineral line as well. Yeah, nice movement there from Nightmare. He rotates over, going for the CC. It's gonna go down. Yeah, there's no repairs, no shot. Nova zones back the army, and the CC doesn't fall. It's gonna be close. Can we repair? Oh my god. Looks like we can. Yeah, it does repair in time. Whew. ByuN will save the CC, but he is stuck on 3 bases. Yeah, he is stuck. Nightmare taking more expansions. Oh, there we go, off. No connection. Colossus goes down. Nice pick up there out of ByuN. Oof. Nice pick up, but we still have more Novas. No! Oh my god, the splits aren't there! Yeah, the splits are not good enough. Novas, they connect. 2 of them at least. There's still 3 Novas left. 3 Novas remaining. And Nightmare's still reinforcing. Novas have reset, and ByuN just cannot move in. Not like this. Stims on 4. The Novas, they will... Oh my god, massive connections. They catch out the ByuN army. Marauders, they stim in. They catch out every single disruptor, though. Oh my god. Yeah, Nightmare does overextend, losing every disruptor. Massive losses for Nightmare. He saw an opening, but he got flanked. He got flanked by the Marauders. Nightmare losing momentum, losing steam. He was trading well up until that point. He just went too far. He got too excited back. He got too excited. Oh no. As ByuN moves forward, catching up 2 more Stalkers. Again, still better trades for ByuN. Nightmare going for a massive counterattack. Back at home at the 3rd base. There's nothing here. Uh-oh. Yeah, nothing at the 3rd. ByuN, he should react in time, though. Yeah, it does pull away. We'll lose minimal SCVs. Nightmare moving in. ByuN is someone in position. Planetaries being morphed in. Massive Mule Hammer here at the 4th. And where's the splash damage, by the way? Almost 6 disruptors. Okay, never mind. I was like, where's the damage? There it is. 6 disruptors. Nightmare is built back up. The Novas are ready. Novas are ready. Army sims in. Zelda coming from behind. Oh, they do lock down the army. Oh my god, massive connection. 2 ghosts go down. There goes. Yeah, ghost count is reset. There's 1 ghost left. Brutal connections. And this time Nightmare gets away. This time he does preserve all the disruptors. We have 3-3 on the horizon. +3 attack finishing for both players. ByuN does get his 4th base up. It's just not getting saturated. Pressures on Nightmare. It's Max trying to move in. Blinks forward. The Zealots are trading well for themselves. The Disruptors are moving in. And they zone away the army. Yeah, they zone away the army. We can see that ByuN is out of position. The SCV is going to be going down. Ay, ay, ay. Tries to win from behind, but this time we have the Novas in position. This time they're ready. They're protected. Yeah, they're not being flanked. Not this time. And Disruptors, they get away. They get away. More warp ins. And here you can see the strength of the fast warp. Oh, there's a Dark Templar. Oh my god. But you can see the strength of the fast warp ins. Oh my god. Oh, he takes it over to the face. Not like this. No splits out of ByuN. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, no splits. DTs, they should soon activate. As ByuN plummets in supply. The Novas, pappy. They're popping up. And what's important, due to all this aggression, due to all these engagements here, Nightmare is left alone, right? The bases are left alone, completely untouched. All this free mining, 1 disruptor goes down to 5. Dark Templar going to be moving in. There is detection. Despite that, they swipe. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 swipes. Oh my god, 3 swipes go pop up. The base goes down, and Nightmare, he's doing it. At this point, he is doing it. He has broken ByuN. As ByuN has no mining, he's mined out of the main base, mined out of the natural. Down to a 1 base economy. Down to 1 base, pappy. And Nightmare's taking every other expansion on the map. Every other base. Again, we mentioned earlier that this map does favor aggression, and it's been nightmare. If you recall, like, especially with combat shields being denied, ByuN, he was denied any kind of move out. He didn't get to push across the map at all this game, actually. We saw the drop play, but that was it. ByuN's just been stuck at home. He's been stuck at home, Pat. I mean, there was that really good drop earlier, if you recall, like near the early to mid game. True. But with that, 20 SCV is going to be going down. Nightmare collapsing in. Catching out more units. And over time, ByuN's just running out of money. Running out of money, running out of steam. We can see the Nightmare is almost maxed out. Needs un poquito más, Papi. Oh my gosh, yes, and they just keep connecting, Papi. Oh no, GG gets called. It's just too much, and Nightmare, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, Nightmare, he will claim the series. Again, Nightmare with a gain map control, able to take that and strip that away from ByuN, whereas typically we expect that out of the Terran players, specifically on Rainfall, but ByuN was stuck at home. Remember, he did miss out on combat shields, he missed his move out, he missed his timing, and he didn't get a chance to move out across the map at all. As a result of that, was just stuck at home and couldn't really be active, couldn't really be aggressive the way he wanted to be. I feel like, to be fair, like winding it back a little bit here, the game was back and forth, if not actually in favor of ByuN, until we saw the drop in the main base. I'm referring to the prism, that massive warp prism warp in into the main. If you remember how many SCVs went down, it was at least 16. It might have been 17, but at least 16 SCV kills due to one massive warp in into the main base. That was brutal. That was when ByuN was establishing his fourth, right? He was in the middle of establishing his fourth base. He was comparable when it came to the army size. He was keeping up with the rotations. And then bam, one massive warp in kills the entire mineral line. And from that moment, Nightmare, he was able to gain momentum and gain control of that entire game. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations here to Nightmare. He will claim the series, and with that, we can catch up on the rest of the brackets. Let's go. Let us go. Exclamation mark, be in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. Let's quickly catch up on where is Wardy? That's the real question, because he's in Classic versus SHIN. Okay, okay. Looks like Classic versus SHIN, the currently mid-series, are in game 1 of their best of 3. And bearing in mind that for this tournament, both semifinals are going to be played one after the other. So hold on. So Nightmare takes down ByuN 2-1 to advance on into the next round. Trap? Whoa, whoa. What happened here, Pappy? Did herO off race? herO, he's not afraid to play Terran against some Protoss players from time to time, especially if they're perceived to be a little bit weaker here, but that's crazy. Trap, calm down. Oh my god. Okay, I'll have to reach out about that one. Was that a PvP or a PvT? Because I'm not convinced that was a PvP, by the way. I'm not convinced yet. Just because herO has the best PvP in the world. Scrolling down, SHIN takes down Cristiano 2-1 to advance on to lower semis, and a Classic takes down Percival 2-1 as well. Yo, Cristiano took a map? That's crazy. That's crazy. But here we go. We have our top 4. Again, first is going to be SHIN versus Classic, followed by Nightmare versus Trap. We'll see you soon, as we will soon head on to a break. Un momento. Happy GG mini noises. True. Yo, somewhere out there, Gemini, he's like in the middle of teaching like English class, and he cannot stop smiling. And he doesn't know why. Like there was like a disturbance in the force, and he's full of joy. Oh my god. But that's crazy. That's crazy. Just catching up. Live transition coming in. Didn't quite get to that point. Didn't get there. Oh no, Miro, his watch yourself, baby, watch yourself. Looks like Wikipedia has a PvP, but I'm not sure. Wikipedia, they just have a PvP by default. Whoever's editing the Wikipedia page wouldn't know the answer to that. It's not uncommon for Wikipedia to have wrong information, unfortunately. It's edited by people, and without us seeing the games themselves, it's hard to really know what happened. But let's have a look here. Why speculate? We can just ask. True, we can just we can just ask Trap. We can't just ask him. Because if so, that is very impressive. I mean, obviously, PvP is a little more chaotic and a little more aggressive than pre-patch. For those that are unaware, it's much more aggressive now. One base all ends up bound for sure. All right, we have confirmation, and now we can edit on Wikipedia a little bit later. But for those that are listening, for those that are here, we have confirmation. Now, I assume that herO played Terran. He did not play Terran. Didn't play Protoss either. He played Zerg. God damn it, herO. God damn it. herO's Terran is actually really good. herO's Terran is 6K. It's at least 6K. It might be like covering like 6K, 6.1, 6.2. Like herO, he has solid Terran, by the way. But I cannot speak on his Zerg, and herO did play Zerg against Trap for game 1. I should emphasize that as well before anyone makes any changes. But game 1, herO played Zerg. Game 2, herO played Protoss. So Trap did defeat herO as Protoss for game number 2. That is true. But looks like after losing game 1, herO switched to Protoss and did lose game 2 as Protoss. So GG. So there you go. I'll write a note so we can update the Wikipedia page after this. Alright, well with that, so we have a top 4. We have a top 4 players here. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have SHIN versus Classic. Once again, SHIN versus Classic, they're currently taking place, they're currently in game 1. Jesus, there's some late game going on. They're currently in game 1. Once they wrap up, we can jump into game 2. So we'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals here of the WardiTV Monday number 94. We just wrapped up with the previous quarterfinals match, and now we're here in the semis, and we are jumping in mid-series. As a reminder, game 1 did occur off-stream. Was being covered, I say off-stream, off this stream, was being covered by Wardy. Game 1 was actually a very long game on Fear and Faith. It did hit the late game, and actually, our Protoss player is leading the series. Let's jump in. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Rorschach, we have the blue Zerg player, himself. Representing onside, it is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our initial PvZ. Now, when it comes to the previous game, it was on Fear and Faith, and they were on cross spawns, which meant longer rush distance by ground. That did allow for Classic to actually build up into Skytoss. He was able to build up into his death pool of a Skytoss army. SHIN had a very hard time engaging and dealing with it, and in the end, SHIN was overwhelmed. We'll see if Classic can achieve that kind of success on a much smaller map. Welcome to Rorschach. Rorschach is a smaller map of the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground, shorter rush distance by air as well. Aggression is favored, and I'm curious to see how Classic will approach this, as he does go Nexus first. Okay. Next first at a Classic, cutting corners, but again, I feel like you need to cut corners against Zerg right now. You have to cut corners, be hyper greedy, be hyper aggressive, you go do something, and we'll see what Classic does, kind of what build he delves into. In my mind, we have been seeing a lot of Mothership rushes, and I wouldn't be opposed to a Mothership rush here. Otherwise, we could see a fast Twilight Council into early Glaive Adepts after the Stargate, of course. Eyes are on Classic, as we expect something unorthodox on Rorschach. Those are our expectations. We'll see if our players meet those expectations. But now, though, we're going to be settling in. We're going to be calming down. Calming down. Classic does pick in. It's going to be our initial Zealot here from Classic. Again, it was Nexus first into safety Zealot, as it was a delayed Cyber Core. So you have to go for that safe follow-up just to be secure. So what if Hero played Zerg versus Exo Striker? That's a good question. He may have, to be honest. It's always hard to know for certain without reaching out to the player. Like, unfortunately, herO, he already logged out, so I can't quite ask him. But, we'll have to do some investigations about that. Because he may have, to be honest. Like, if herO felt confident enough to play Zerg against Trap, there's a good chance that he played Zerg against Exo Striker. But, again, hard to say. We'll have to reach out to the players at some point to confirm. From here, it is going to be the Stargate open at a Classic. Oh, opening up Void Ray this time. Okay, so Void Ray opener. With this, we can hunt down Overlords, deny vision, deny scouting, and try to keep SHIN in the dark. From here, we can go into a Fleet Beacon, second Stargate, into a Twilight Council. Classic does have options as to where he wants to take us after said Void Ray opener. Does have options. Classic does find the Overlord. We'll hunt it down. So far, just going Void Ray into Oracle. On the flip side of things here, SHIN just been droning, saturating, going for his own third. Building up on 3 bases, and we have the answer here: double Stargate and a Fortress +1 for cannon specifically. So we're rushing Skytoss. Now, I'll be honest, not going for a fast fleet beacon here feels a little bit risky. Obviously, with a shorter rush distance by ground, if SHIN can recognize what's going on, he can hit real hard and real fast off of 63 drones. If we drone up to 3 base saturation, get a 4th base just for lava, and go Ling Hydra, this will hit very hard. Lair is going to be on the way, and we'll see what tech SHIN goes into. Now, this was a 5-minute lair, so more standard lair timing here. I believe there's no early tech. Yeah, there's no Evo chamber, there's no roach horn, gases are being taken. It looks like we are rushing into Hydras. That's what it perceives to me to be. We could even go Spire and go Queen Corruptor, or we could go Ling Hydra. Those are 2 viable options here against a Skytoss rush. We're now building up to triple Stargate, mass Void Ray. Again, I believe this fleet beacon should just be for the mothership and just go mass Void initially, then eventually into Carrier. But we could try to just rush completely and straight away into Carrier or Tempest. But there we go. Safety Void Rays first. So Void Rays are amassing. We're going back to 2021. True. And it looks like it is indeed going to be not Ling Hydra, it's going to be Queen Corruptor. I say Queen Corruptor, looks like it's going to be Ravager Corruptor instead. This does have a bigger power spike here, and it does scale better into a longer game for SHIN. But it does take a little bit longer to get going, and you have to rely on Queens to defend early on. So this is going to have a bit of a shakier mid-game. The reasoning for this is because the Spire takes longer to complete than the Hydrogen, so it takes longer to have, you know, a supplemental anti-air army. Ooh, no Spore! Wow, no Spore at the 4th base, or the 3rd. 6 drones going to be going down. Ay. SHIN out of position. SHIN gets punished for his greed. And this is slowing SHIN down. Checking Classic's vision, he did not scout the tech. So Classic is still unaware of what's going on. You might be looking at this and you might be thinking, oh, as things, they confirm the upgrade. Yeah, big scout here does confirm the upgrade on the Cybercore. SHIN now knows. What I was going to say though is you might be thinking of Void Rays, don't they counter Corruptors? They do in low numbers, specifically in low numbers of Corruptors, but when you have enough Corruptors, you can bully Void Rays quite hard. Basically, you just have to respect the prismatic alignments. If you can bait out prismatic alignment, wait it out, and then engage, then Corruptors will overwhelm. Void Rays are heavily reliant on their prismatic alignment to actually deal with Corruptors. This is where it's going to be on Classic to stagger his prismatic alignments. You want to stagger it, you don't want to spend it all at once. Likewise, it won't just be about prismatic alignment, but also the slow zone. The slow zone and the cloak as well. From the mothership. We kind of waste them, we have to use them wisely to preserve the army and to fight back against the Corruptor. So it's going to be tense. But now we're building up to 8, soon to be 11 Void Rays. Going for the main! It is 2021. So we do activate the prismatic alignment. Lair goes down, recall back home, 1 Void Ray falls. Oh no. We're back to the COVID era of StarCraft. I've seen many a main lair die to mass Void Ray. On Site Delta, forget about it. Sorry, not Site Delta. On Jagannatha, that's what I was thinking. Jagannatha. Smooch. It's all coming back. So now SHIN does rotate. Once again, just building up his Corruptors, but it's heavily delayed here due to his lack of lair. And without that lair, I mean, now Classic has time to build up his forces, to build up more Void Rays. Now, ideally, what does Classic really want here? A ground composition to support Storm, Archons. Like, Storm and Archons are going to be ideal here to support this army. Twilight Council just out on the way. This is 4 set eventually Temple Archives and Storm and Archons, but is a ways away. Ideally, SHIN wanted to max out and commit before that ground army builds up, but SHIN is missing his timing due to the fact that his lair was killed and his mining has been delayed. Gold base does help recover. Void Rays, Classic, he wants the gold. No. He wants the gold base, moves in. The gold will go down, there's no saving it. Corruptor's out of position. Oh no. Going back in time. For those that weren't around in 2020, 2021, I want to say coming into 2022 era of StarCraft, Stargate Void Ray openers and mass Void Ray into Sky Toss was very standard and very meta. Now, if you remember, one of the reasons why this build died down is because we had a bunch of nerfs hit the Void Rays. I want to say the cost and the build time was affected. Also batteries, we also had like proxy Stargate be a thing for a while, and battery was also nerfed to the point where now batteries that morph outside of range of next side, they reduce when it comes to the shields that they provide. But like I want to say like there were like three different nerfs that hit at the same time that did target mass Void Ray. And then we had like the rise of herO post-military service, where he popularized like Oracle Opener into Stalker or into Adepts. We had that herO era, of course, coming into 2023. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Oh my god. Yeah, Prismatic. Oh, we have to respect it. No, we have to respect the Prismatic alignment. Oh my god. Another equal. Yeah, we'll lose one. One Void Ray goes down. Recalls back home. Uh oh. Who is it? Is it me? Who is it? Oh, Palmy. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, one of our casters did lag out. Again, there's a lot of casters here. There's Indy, there's Rex, there's Palmy, TKO, ourselves, Wardy. Hopefully their internet issues do clear up. Just so you know, they increase the build time and cost. There you go, there you go. I want to say the shield battery nerf was also around that time as well, but that was targeting a very specific build. Movement speed was increased earlier when they reduced cost and build time. Yeah. But those nerfs were specifically targeting mass Void Ray, as they were very, very, very prevalent in the meta. I say mass Void Ray, just Stargate Void Ray openers and Sky Toss. The battery nerf was targeting proxy Void Ray into Tempest for TP, if I recall correctly. Yeah, that's what we did mention. That was targeting specifically proxies in regards to the energy of the shield battery nerf. In my brain, that was also around that same era. But there could have been more time in between. Shield battery nerf was at the same time? Yeah. It was all at the same time. Ah, there you go. See, we remember. We can I mean, it was a big patch. It was a really important patch, just because of what StarCraft was at the time. Burned into our skulls. As Classic is maxed. He's maxed out here with his Void Ray carrier army. Now this army is still lacking, I would say. Typically you do want more Archons and you want less Void Rays. And you want less carrier, more Tempest. So this army still is not perfect, but we're getting there. Nice feedbacks. Nice feedbacks. We've got our 8 carriers. Northern base is going to go down. There's a lot of damage output available here with this army. That is true. And speaking of an imperfect army, the spellcasters are coming in. Okay, there's 3 Vipers. We have 8 Infestors. Oh, Jesus. Things they try to force out a storm. Nice movement here by Classic. Classic, he's kind of reached that kind of death bull of an army. Once again, very nice feedbacks here. There's no ground support. There's nothing to punish these High Templar. They're just walking around like they're in the place. They just walk up and feedback everything. Like we need ground support to stop that from happening. Yeah, SHIN, alas, there's no like lurker support. There's no ultras, limited Ling Bane. High Templar, they're just free to do whatever they want. Oof. Broodlord's now morphing in, but this was greedy here from SHIN. Very greedy. And Classic is getting out of hand. Oh, there's the Cloak. Yeah, nice Cloak. Saves the High Templar. Mass feedback on the Vipers. Oof. Broodlords now have arrived. Nice fungal. Nice catch on one Templar. One Templar goes down. Again, those Templar are so exposed. They're so naked. Army moves in. Nice Storm. Yeah, nice Storm with the slow zone. Powerbomb with the carrier. And Classic is going to need to pull out. He's going to need to pull out here. Does take down the base. 14 drone kills, but he's running out of Voider. He's running out of support for the carriers. Classic has to get out of here. I mean, I say that. How many Corruptors are there? 19. Soon to be... Oh my god. Soon to be 40 Corruptors. The Corruptors are coming. There's a flanking Storm. The Classic, if we stick around too long, he will lose everything here. And yeah, there's 38 Corruptors. It's mainly a Corruptor-based army. It's 38 Corruptors, 5 Broodlords, barely anything on the ground. I'm not too fond of this army, I'll be honest, but we're going to try to make this work. The big concern with this composition here is the lack of anti-ground. We are slowly building up that Broodlord count, but as you saw earlier, without any strong anti-ground composition, the High Templar, they can kind of have their way with your spellcasters, right? They can feedback. They can storm. That's a kill, not a cancel. Ooh, okay. Nexus does fall. Now, SHIN, he is slowly building out that Broodlord count, getting up to 7 Broodlords down. That's not bad. Classic going for the gold. Uh-oh. Now, I think one thing that I do like about Broodlords here on Rorschach is the map is pretty small, right? It's a pretty small map, so the idea of being out of position and having a hard time rotating back and forth from one side to the other of the map with Broodlords is more viable here for sure. It's much more viable due to how little distance there is to traverse. Classic going for top right. SHIN, he moves in. We're going for a base trade. We've been trading bases. But the last of course, Classic, his base trade is faster. Kills the expansion, kills the mineral line. SHIN just now engaging with the Nexus itself. Classic, he may just keep going, to be honest. Do we keep going? Oh, it looks like he wants to recall. Nexus falls. Recall into main. Oh my god, he gets in. Recalls into the main base. There's a hatchery here, but the tech is also here as well. The Ultra Cavern's going to go down. Massive pickoff. Takes down the cavern. High Templar move in. Broodlord's out of position. And remember, this was the Mothership recall. This is still a base recall. Uh-oh. The Broodlords are looking exposed. Yeah, Broodlords are exposed. They're going to be going down one after the other. Corruptors go for the dive. Where are the Archons? Only 2 Archons. Nice Storm. And nice Storm. The army's cornered. Corruptors, they move in, and the Corruptors, they should kill everything. There are enough. Yeah, they go for the dive. They will one-shot the carriers one after the other. Every carrier will fall. And there was no base recall. I was assuming that as soon as the army came in, there it is. So late. It's such a late recall. Ay, ay, ay. Classic, he plummets in supply. Behind this, going back into carrier? The issue here is that carriers are not ideal against Corruptor, and there were 38 Corruptors. Now we're down to 13, getting back up to 19. Okay, 19 Corruptors. At this point, we're overmaking Broodlords. We still have 10. Like we still have 10 Broodlords. Now we're going into 19. The issue here is that we're eating into the Corruptor count. So now we're gonna have significantly less Corruptors. And remember, Classic is going back into mass carrier. So initially, I wasn't really liking this mass carrier like remax here for Classic, but it's gonna work well. Remember, that earlier fight was with 38 Corruptors. Now we're down to 19, and SHIN is maxed. Uh-oh. So again, I'm a little bit concerned that we're just too heavy on the Broodlords. What's the ground army? 4 Templar. That's it. Like, there's not much of a ground army. Like, we over-invested. We over-committed. Now, of course, we do have some Infestors and Vipers, so this can help support the Corruptors, and there's a world where we can, like, fungal and Powerbomb and Abduct, and this can still work out, but I'm concerned that there are too many Broodlords. Broodlords are moving in. Classic, he still needs more time. Yeah, he needs a little bit more time. Neural's about to finish. Shin's pushing forward. Classic, he needs his 5 carriers. He needs them. Oh. Okay. Raptor's unable to engage. Another base will fall. At the same time, Zella run by. Shin is burning through his bank. We're squeezing out a couple of Corruptors, getting up to 23? 22. Okay, 22 Corruptors. Oh, he wants in. Massive feedbacks. Yeah, feedbacks a punish. Storm as well. Nice movement here with the High Templar. Oh, that was premature. That was a bit of a premature cloak. We'll get one of the Broods. Fungal does try to punish, but the Void Rays, I believe, get away. Yep, they do get away. Oh my god, massive storm. Massive storm. Here come the infestors. They can Neural. They can try to. Oh my god. Going for the Chain Fungals. Void Rays activate. Corruptors are moving in. And do we have enough Corruptors? Oh my god, the infestors all get thrown away. Oh my god. The infestors. Yeah, it's a meat grinder. All the infestors go down. Now we're down to 16 Corruptors. Is it going to be enough? Does focus on the carriers. He does try. Down to 14. Down to 10. Not enough. Yeah, not enough Corruptors. As we mentioned, too many Broodlords. Not enough Corruptors. And with that Classic, he takes the fight. GG gets called 2-0 in favor of Classic. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Shin, he misread the Remax. I'm pretty sure Shin was assuming, because it's very common to do this. It's very common for a Protoss player, they will lose their Skytoss army, and then bam, Remax with Stalker. That's very common in the previous patch. Here, Classic, he Remaxed on Carrier, and I was doubting him. I was like, oh, I'm not really fond of this Remax on Carrier due to the Corruptor count. But then Shin, he overmade Broodlords. He went up to 19 Broodlords. That meant that he had a minuscule amount. He had half the amount of Corruptors he had previously. So you saw that he did not have enough anti-air. Not enough anti-air. He could not fight the Skytoss head-on. Not with such few Corruptors. Again, I believe that Shin just assumed that it was going to be a ground transition. I think he just assumed that, oh, like I have a low Broodlord count, he's probably going to try to counter me with Stalkers, and he was just trying to read that kind of transition when that wasn't the case, right? It wasn't the case. It was caught with his pants down. GG. The pants were down. Bappy. GG, well played. Oh. And with that, we are getting into game number... Well, with that, we're getting into our next series, our Classic will advance on into the next round. Meanwhile, we are jumping into our PvP. It's going to be a rematch from the RSL qualifier. It's going to be Trap versus Nightmare. Let's go. Oh. Now, for those that are unaware, Trap and Nightmare, if you remember, they face off during the RSL. I believe it was the the Korean qualifier. The Korean qualifier for RSL, and Nightmare qualified. Nightmare, he qualified for RSL this season over Trap in that PvP, so we'll see if Trap can get his revenge. We shall see. Let's go. Here we go. Remember the little people complained the nursemaid Protoss on Vibe? I mean, people, they always complain. They that's that. Nothing has changed. Vibe has changed. But yes, that is it was post the Void Ray nerf where herO arrived post military service, and he paved the way for Protoss. Paved the way. But here we go, spawning in the top left hand corner of At Attorney's Edge. We have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Nightmare. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself from South Korea. It is Trap. Let's go. Let us go. If you're in the chat, it is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as it is back to normal, as we have pure PvP ahead of us. it's like there was no patch map. It's going to be Nightmare versus Trap into Classic in the grand final. So non-stop PvPs. We're back to 2025. Let's go. Kappa. Turns out what it contained was pretty small, so that short list of changes. It was very impactful though. It was very, very impactful. As from here, we're going to be building up. And once again, welcome to our PvP. Welcome to Trap vs. Nightmare. Welcome to Attorney's Edge. Now, when it comes to PvP, if you haven't been watching StarCraft as of late in the new patch, it is hyper aggressive, even more so than previously. I would say that one base all-ins are even more common than earlier, and they hit even stronger. Why is that? Well, you no longer need a gateway to reinforce across the map. Now with purely a pylon, you can throw down all your gateways back at home. You can go for a 3-gate opener or even a 4-gate one base all in and reinforce so quickly with just a singular pylon. So that pylon change, the warp-in change, has impacted PvP to the point where now it's even more aggressive and even more intense than previously. So that's, I would say, probably the biggest impact that the patch has had on specifically this mirror matchup is that warp gate change. So pylons are even more deadly. They're even more deadly. It does make it much more difficult to scout an all-in and to scout your opponent being hyper aggressive, of course. So that has led into just even more variance in PvP than previously. For now, again, it is going to be a 2-gate opener here by Trap, likewise 2-gate by Nightmare. Everything's looking normal so far. It is going to be double Stalker out of Trap, it's going to be Stalker Adept out of Nightmare, so we do have a slight variation when it comes to our initial opener with our initial units. Double Stalker's goal is to gain map control, Stalker Adept is to scout and be a little bit annoying across the map as it will attempt to shade and will attempt to get past. So here comes that Adept. We'll avoid the Zelnaga Tower. Barely will actually thread the needle, okay. Del slip by. Twilight counts behind this, going for Blink before expansion. So Nightmare here will delay his Nexus. Meanwhile, Trap does warp in 2 extra Stalkers behind this. Ooh. Probe does go down. Adept will try to shade in. Does get into the main. Does not commit there. Yeah, does not commit. Again, faster Nexus here by Trap. And Nightmare can still turn this into an all-in, but should expand. Yeah, he's building up resources, moving down to the low ground, and will get the Nexus. But again, Nightmare will have faster Blink. Later Council here by Trap. Adept is called out. Nice catch out of Trap. Catching out the Adept. And Blink is on the way. Again, there's going to be a window in time where Nightmare has Blink over his opponent, and we'll see if he can make use of that timing. Pioneering Stars not really being the best of them. I mean, kind of. Like, herO, he was always known for his micro, if you recall. Like, herO, he always had, like, some of it, if not the best, like, Blink Stalker control and just unit micro out there when it comes to Protoss players. He was always very solid. If you recall, pre-military service, like, he did win some IEMs. He was still one of the best Protoss players out there. But you could argue that, that one of the reasons why, like, there was a shift when it comes to his role amongst Protoss post-military service is because the other top Protoss players, like, stepped away and retired, referring to Zest, referring to Trap as well. Like, he also stepped away. Deer, some of the other, like, big Protoss names, like, they all kind of, like, fell by the wayside. So you could argue that he didn't really have as many people to look to when it comes to, like, either comparing his builds to, comparing his play to, learning off of. Had to be a little bit more independent. Like, there's different ways to look at that, like, era of StarCraft. Rain retiring, true. Another. Nightmare, remember, Blink is outdone. I can't say the same for Trap. Nightmare does move in. Oh. Yeah, moves in, catching out a Stalker. So far getting one. Can we catch out the sentries? Barely does get one. Yeah, 1, 2. Oh, yeah, 2, 3 sentries going to be going down. Once again, better trades here from Nightmare. Does pull away. Blink is outdone for Trap, but he has sustained some heavy losses here. Oh. As we're going to continue to fight, actually. Does continue. At the same time, Adept SHIN into the mineral line, catching out 2 probes. Nightmare pulls away. And what have our trades been looking like as Nightmare? He will still lose a bunch of sentries. In the end, Trap losing 3 Stalkers, 3 sentries. Nightmare, he does out-trade his opponent, but is losing probes. Yeah, 4 or 5 probes going down back at home. Ay, ay, ay. Remember, Trap, he already had the faster expansion. He had the faster natural base. Likewise, later 3rd, though, so this will help Nightmare recover, but did sustain a lot of worker losses there. So 5 probes going down. Nightmare out trading the army, but losing more economy. Behind this Trap, I did notice Glaives for a moment there, but looks like Trap does cancel. If we committed into Glaive Adepts, that would have been a sign of an all-in, but cancels Glaives in the end, going for a mortar production. It looks like Trap has changed his mind. Oh no, never mind. We're back into it. Okay. Back in the Glaives. Now, the way this works here, Mass Glaive Adept into Immortal does not scale well into the mid to late game. Does not scale anywhere near as well as Charged Archon. But there is a window in time where you do have a big power spike. Adepts, they do well for themselves when it comes to tanking against Stalkers, tanking against Immortals, and even trading against Zealots as well, as you build up more Archons and a heavier Stalker count though. Again, Adepts do fall off. They do fall out of favor as time goes on, but there is going to be that big timing here available to now Trap. With Mass Adepts, with Immortal. So Trap is going to be the aggressor. Nightmare is playing more standard, going into Charge, going into Archons, into +1. Once Nightmare recognizes what's going on though, he will have to rely on a heavier Stalker count though, less so Zealots. Says that Temple Archives for Archons. Again, as we mentioned, Nightmare is playing very standard when it comes to his composition so far. Prism is moving out. Here comes the push. Trap is getting ready. It's all or nothing. It's going to be all or nothing here. Prism is on the way. Glaive's now finishing. Going to see a warping of Mass Adept. Here they come. 5 Adepts warping in. And again, the Adepts that built a tank, meanwhile the Immortals, that's the real backbone of the army. The real damage dealers, against the Stalkers specifically. Adepts, they're there to deal with the Zealots. And to tank. Trappy commits. Remember, there's no 4th base either. Again, Trappy's committed. Oh, the Immortal barely survives. Does pull away. Zealots say collapse here on some of those Adepts. Has to pull back, has to respect this. Ooh, gets 1 Immortal left. Yeah, the Immortal count isn't high enough here. Only 2 Immortals, now down to 1. And Nightmare is so close, he's almost there. Barely doesn't collapse in. No batteries? Oh. Yeah, no batteries at the 3rd. A bit of a weaker position. And so far trading against the Adepts. Immortal moves in. Here come extra reinforcements. Archons, they finally arrive. They hit a tank. They're going for the Adepts. And again, that 1 Immortal doing so much in the back line. He's putting in the work. Nightmare, he wants it. Oh my god, blinks in. Yeah, it does run away. Nice control here by Trap, but in the end, Trap, the aggression has failed. Remember, this was a big all-in. And Trappy's running out of steam. Remember, he's down a base, down in upgrades, a 0-0 for Trap. No 4th base, no further saturation. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for Nightmare. As Nightmare, he has more efficient mining. And Nightmare has more warp-ins. Oh, this is rough. Yeah, Trap, he now takes a 4th base. This is so late. Yeah, late expansion. Trap, he's recognized he can no longer kill Nightmare. So this is a bit of a desperation move here from Trap. Thankfully for Trap, there's no +2, and again, there's still no defensive setup here. Okay. Trap, he can still make this work. Yeah, he can still make this work. Adept station into the mineral line. 11 probes going to be going down. Nightmare getting called out. Who catches who? Yeah, who catches who as that Immortal is very low. No target firing, though. That doesn't matter. Yeah, it does not matter. Nightmare, he will overwhelm. GG gets called. Again, the all-in fails, and Nightmare, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A Nightmare, he will take a lead in the series. As I mentioned, Trap going for a big 3-base all-in and going Master Mortal Adept is quite a common build, and we saw that over time, Nightmare, he was able to build up his forces. It was a shaky defense due to the fact that he had no batteries. Like, he had no batteries, he had a weaker defensive setup, so that was harder than it needed to be, but with the extra warp ins, he was able to buy enough time. It was also really crucial as well that Nightmare, he caught the first Immortal quite quickly. If you remember, that first Immortal went down real fast, so it was really just one Immortal in the back line when usually it's like 2 or 3, or if not even 4. But there was only one Immortal there, so limited damage, limited DPS there for Trap, and with that he was shut down. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting ready here for game number 2, as Nightmare does take a lead. And we'll see if he can close it out. I mentioned earlier that Nightmare did defeat Trap in the RSL qualifiers. We'll see if he can do it again. Here we go. Trap being seen here now is very strange. I mean, if you recall, so Trap alongside Innovation and alongside some of the others came back for Doyo Cup. If you missed it last week, we had Doyo Cup, of course. Amongst all the players that returned and were featured at Doyo Cup, I would say 2 of them have been more prevalent than the others. I mean, they're the only players that have been prevalent, and that is Trap and Innovation. If you were here for it, Innovation played last night in GSLCK. He played in GSLCK, so did Trap. They both played in GSLCK, but I will say that that's only because, you know, both of them are retired players that were invited as legendary players for GSLCK. Meanwhile, Trap, he also, as we've been mentioning, he's also played in the RSL qualifiers. So amongst all those returning players for Doyo Cup, Trap is the only one that's been playing in other events outside of just these like showmatchy invitationals. He played in the RSL qualifier, and now he's here playing in WardiTV Mondays as well. So again, he's the only one to actually play a little bit more, and I guess Innovation a little bit as well for GSLCK. So it is cool. It's cool to see. Cool to see. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Rainfall, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss, the South Green Protoss, representing Streamer Zone, leading the series 1-0. It is Nightmare. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss player himself, we have the South Green Protoss. Coming back after quite some time, it is Trap. We go. So is Nightmare a streamer? Not actively like he used to be. Nightmare, when he was playing StarCraft full time, he used to stream almost daily. He used to be like I would say Nightmare was almost like the Korean, the Protoss version of Percival. Like Percival, he grinds a lot, and I think he still does. I think maybe Percival, he's pulled back a little bit. Like if you're watching Percival like at the start of the year, and especially last year as well, Percival, he would grind hard on Twitch, and he'd stream a lot, he'd ladder a lot. I think Percival has pulled back a little bit. Nightmare, if you recall, he did retire. Nightmare, he also retired more recently, but if you remember, post EWC, Nightmare, he retired. He started competing in Deadlock, and nowadays Nightmare, he's like a part-time player. It's like part-time. So Nightmare, he's not as active as he used to be like a year ago, for example. Meanwhile, let's go. Trappy does set up here, bottom left. Going for a fake hidden pylon. Let's go. So Trap does go for the fake out, and Trap is hoping that Nightmare overreacts. As again, Nightmare should be catting pylons, should be checking what Trap is up to. Should be checking. Pokes in, pulls away. Double Stalker opener here by Trap. At the same time, it's going to be double Adept out of Nightmare. With this, Nightmare is going to be more the aggressor. He's going to be looking to move out and shade into the mineral lines. We'll see if he can. Likewise, Trap confirms that both pylons are in the main. Trap does go for a Robo on one base. Interesting. Oh, he's looking for the third pylon. He finds it though. Yeah, he does find it. Trap is aware. Trap can turn this into a one base all-in with a third gateway back at home. Curious. Speaking of third gateway, oh my, he doubles down. Yeah, Nightmare does double down, which means this Robo is actually going to pay off quite well. Trap, did he see that third gateway? He did not. Didn't see the third gateway, but he of course saw the lack of pylon on low ground. I'd have to say third in the shade. When it comes to the builds of choice here, I do favor Trap. Basically, Nightmare is going for a one base all-in, but Trap has access to safety immortal production, and there it is. Defensive immortals are on the way. That's going to be ideal. Proxy pylon here by Nightmare to warp in across the map. A lot of this comes down to the positional play. This is scary. So Trap is moving out. As he moves out, that immortal is going to be on its own back at home. And who catches who? And who catches who here? Trap shoots first. Trap shoots first, but again, Nightmare has the bigger army. Trap pulling away. Here comes the interception. Uh-oh. We're coming in from behind. Yeah, we're trying to come in from behind. Trap, where we headed. Stalkers, they do come in. Trap trying to buy time, going for the recall. He will lose one. He'll lose 1.5. Ooh, barely. But there's that recall. Safety batteries are on the way. Immortal production back at home as well. We do have just one immortal so far. A lot of sentries though. And remember, there's no blink. Right, there is no blink, so force fields, they can be king. They can clean up and lock down an army. Stalker does get picked off though. Yeah, Stalker goes down. There are just so many Stalkers. We spoke about this at the start of the series, how these proxy pylons are so much stronger in PvP. These one-base all-ins are hit so hard. So much harder, I should say. Sniper a sentry, gets one. Oh, nice force fields. Catching a Stalker. Does catch a Stalker. Shields are triggered. Sentry goes down. Trading a Stalker for a sentry. And we're going for the Phoenix production. So Phoenixes are on the way. Again, the goal here should be to lift the Immortal. The longer this game goes on, though, the better it is for Trap. Trap, the Nexus got low, but he does survive. He's holding. Trap is holding on. Oof, Nightmare forced to expand. Ay, the all-in has failed. Shout out to that one probe, by the way. Killed the pylon all by himself. But this is looking bleak for Nightmare. It's looking bleak. Now, the one chance that Nightmare has is to bait the army out like this. If he can bait Trap out into the center of the map, and then bam, catching up with a Phoenix. Catch him out with a Phoenix and get a lift. Uh-oh, speaking of. Okay. Trap playing it safe. He saw the Phoenix. Trappy knows, he's racing back. Still on the high ground. Now we have two Phoenixes, but we pull all the way back to the battery. They're the hallucinations. Oof. Massive volley in the Phoenix. Does it both? Yeah, lifts both, and one Immortal's going to go down. Does it get both? No shot. Yeah, one is going for two. The second Immortal will survive, and Trap holds. Trappy does hold on. Again, the pressure is still very much so on Nightmare. Now we have a second shield battery. Ay. Oh, nice catch. No, he's out of range. Yeah, he's out of range of the battery. Massive pickup. Trap, he got baited. Calm down, Trap. Calm down. Yeah, it does get baited out. Ay. Down to 0. Okay, down to 1. Down to 1 Immortal. Thank God. Does have one more. Oh, no ass. Be careful, Pappy. Be careful. Stay back. Nightmare gathering up more energy. Defending shades. Nightmare is still behind economically. But these adepts, they have potential, so the Phoenixes. Speaking of, Phoenixes, they rotate into the main. They shouldn't get much done due to the battery. Yeah, they're poking for a scout. And Trappy's still looking more or less solid here. Now, the one downside is that Trap's tech is delayed. Because of the Robo and Immortal production, it does mean that Blink is going to be faster for Nightmare. That does give him a little bit more macro ability, of course, in the mid-game. There's more micro potential. Assuming that we build up into a longer game, there's still a world where Trap doubles down. Yeah, Prism is on the way. 2 more gates. He's going for 4 gates. Yeah, setting it with 4 gateways. Glaze for Nightmare? Oh. That's kind of weird. I'm not too fond of this. So when it comes to Glaive Adepts, if you remember in game 1, it was the 3-base all-in mass Glaive Adept with Immortal, which is normal, which is standard. I mean, quote unquote standard. It's very common. It's very common. Seeing Glaive Adepts without Immortal support feels kind of weird. As Trappy does break out. Catching out the Stalkers. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 Stalkers going to be going down. Heavy losses for Nightmare. And Trappy snowballs out of control. He snowballs out of control. Heavy losses for Nightmare. Shades into the mineral lines. Let's get a couple of workers here. 7. I mean, that's a good damage. 7, 8 probes. This is nice, but it doesn't matter. Does not matter because here comes the main army. Trappy breaks out across the map. Desperation here by Nightmare. He's desperate. 39 batteries. Boys are being pulled. Does pull the boys. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Prism is going to be focused down. Immortal gets caught. Okay, nice catch on the Immortals. Catching at 1. 2 Immortals go down. A bit of a blunder here from Trap throwing away those Immortals though, but he will get 20 probe kills. We're getting messy. We're getting messy. Oh no. Yeah, Trappy pulls away. Recalls back home. Prism does not escape. And where exactly are we here? So we're on 2 bases. Trap has a massive economy, but Nightmare now has the bigger army. True. He has the bigger army. He has Glaives. Adepts, they can be a little bit more useful here, of course. Trap engaging ahead of time. Adepts are coming first round. They can shade into the mineral lines, and they will. Yeah, they shade past, going straight for the mineral line instead. Going for the economy. Trying to push into the main. Does break in, and recalls on cooldown. Remember, recalls on cooldown. And this is going to get out of hand. This is getting out of hand. And in the end, I mean, personally, I feel like the same damage could have been done without Glaives. But regardless, it's helping. 11 probe kills. Worker counts are evening up. True. They're evening up, Bappy. And then we need to say to, oh, as we do catch a couple of extra workers here, Trappy comes back too soon. Yeah, it comes back too soon. Nightmare does shade away. And as it all settles, what do we have left? Well, if you remember, Trap, he threw away the Immortals. He threw away the Immortals, he threw away the War Prism as well, so no rubber units left. Does have Blink on the horizon. Blink is also comparable here for Nightmare. It's a little bit later, but only by a couple of seconds. So both players are on 2 bases. We do see a 2-worker disparity, so even economy, even base counts, and more or less even tech as well. Again, just a couple of seconds faster for Trap. Couple of seconds. This is still anyone's game. Let's go. We'll see if Trap does try to make use of this timing. The Oracle outside of the main base for Trap. Nightmare pushing through the center. Oh! Oh, big overextension. The Oracle gets low. Nightmare looking for his 3rd. Does claim his 3rd base. Trap moving out. When it comes to the main army, is Trap. He is up heavily in Stalkers. 21 to 11. Oh my god. He's up by 10 Stalkers. Against Stalkers who do out-trade Adepts head to head. This is one of the reasons why I was very... what's the word I'm looking for? I wasn't very convinced by the Glaive Adepts earlier instead of going into Blink. But I mean, you could argue without it, that wouldn't have been anywhere near as much economic damage. And actually, a lot of this will come down to the stasis traps, but we have detection. The Observer has arrived. Catching the first stasis. Stalkers they can now trade. So far, the Blink control's on point. So far. Say that Nightmare, he does warp in additional Stalkers. We have now a comparable army. Blink is now done for both players. The Dipsy do shade in across the map. They try to. Dives in the main army. He blinks in. We're missing blinks. Yeah, we're missing blink control here for Trap. Trappy was distracted, and heavy losses for Trap here. Nightmare is doing it. He breaks the main army. Yeah, he dives on in. So many Stalkers go down, and with that Nightmare, he is doing it. He cleans up the main army across the map. There is a third base on the way, but again, the economy here is still lackluster. What matters are the main army. The main army was distracted, and Trap, he will lose too much. It was far too much here. Down to 4 Stalkers. Getting back up to 8. Trying to build back up. Nightmare's moving in. Trap coming in from behind. There is potential with this backstab, but oh no! Never mind. He gets caught by the stasis, Pappy. He gets caught out. And GG gets called. A Nightmare, he will take down Trap 2-0. He will advance on into the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. A very chaotic back and forth. Very, very chaotic. Winding it back, if you remember, initially Nightmare was the aggressor. If you remember, Nightmare who was going for the 1-base all-in. Trap, he was able to hard counter, going for the immortal production, shut Nightmare down, and things were looking dire for Nightmare. Things were looking rough, but what did Nightmare do? He went into Phoenixes, and with those Phoenixes, he did bait Trap out, and he was able to catch out 2 Immortals. 2 Immortals that were barely caught out, one of them out of range of the battery, the other within range, but there was enough DPS there to burst down the Immortal anyway, and Trap, despite opening up Robo, he lost his Immortals very early on. He wasn't able to build up. I would say that post that though, Trap, he recovered. He also was able to build up his own army. He was able to build back up his Immortals, but we had a very messy engage across the map. What did we see? Trap, he pushed on the right hand side, he engaged with the army, but he was reinforcing with the Immortals on the left, and they got caught isolated by themselves, if you remember. We lost 2 more Immortals on their own. They were able to be picked off. If they were with the main army, different story. Much stronger fight there for Trap. He might have even won the game then and there if everything was together, but his army was fragmented. He fragmented his own army. Immortals were isolated. They got picked off by themselves. GG. GG well played. With that, Nightmare, he was able to even things up, clean up the Immortals, counterattack across the map, and shut down the Stalkers. GG. GG well played. With that, congratulations. Nightmare, he'll advance onto the grand finals, and it's going to be a PvP finals between Nightmare and Classic. Let's go. Let us go. Again, going back to how Open Cups used to be, all the PvPs back. Yeah. We're used to seeing herO versus Classic, but this time, again, herO, he did play Zerg against Trap, and herO was punished for it. And alas, we will be able to see Classic versus Nightmare instead. Let's go. As the players are getting ready, Vito's on the way, and we will soon jump in. Let's go. Ironically, I do think the gateway changes have made PvP better. I would disagree. I mean, it is of course subjective. It depends on what you want. It's better than Phoenix Wars. Phoenix Wars were not common, so make sure you don't paint like an obscure picture that isn't representative of what the previous patch was. Phoenix Wars was quite rare. Phoenix Wars were a lot more common, specifically with max packs involved. And if you remember, Phoenix Wars actually died out because max packs, the max packs opener, if you remember, became less viable last year. I say last year. No, yeah. Coming into 2025, leading into 2026. So Phoenix Wars were not really a thing. I would say that right now, I mean, we saw it. 1-base all-ins and 1-base play is a lot more common, and just aggression in the early game is a lot more. Is just very, very prevalent. It's much rarer to see mid-game PvP. But again, if that's what you enjoy, then that's a positive thing, right? Personally, I do enjoy that as well. Like I'm not too fond of like mid-game PvP personally. But I would say at this point, like, PvP is much more aggressive and much more unforgiving than previously. It has leveled up in terms of aggression. I think I would say maybe too much. I think I would go that far to say it's now one step too far when it comes to how aggressive it is. It is fun, it is enjoyable, but from what I hear, the players do not enjoy it. Like, they don't they don't like how aggressive and how unforgiving it is. As a caster and viewer, I like it. Give more, but I'm aware of the players and how they feel. There we go. As we're now getting into our next matchup. It's same with ZVZ actually. ZVZ is also much more aggressive than previously. It is also like one step above. I think I'd say the same about TVT actually. Yeah, all mirror matchups I feel like have become more aggressive. And have become a little more intense, a little more, I guess like, do I want to say coin flippy? Like rock, paper, scissors sort of thing? Where it's a little bit more extreme than previously. Yeah, I think I would comfortably say that about all mirror matchups right now. ZVZ, PvP, and TVT. Let's go. Based on what we've seen so far. I should emphasize that as well. So we're getting into our best of 5 grand finals PvP. Let's go. As spawning in the top right corner of Sanctuary 3, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Nightmare. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Blue Protoss player. The Blue Protoss himself representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. So let us go as we are getting into our fresh series here. We're getting into our best of 5, and welcome to Sanctuary 3. Hey, we just spoke about this. We just spoke about Phoenix Wars, and when it comes to Phoenix Wars, they are a lot more common on maps like this. So Ram coming into the natural base on both sides. This is where Phoenix Wars can be more viable and can be more possible as well. But what I will say, even if that's the case, amongst the Korean Protoss players, they do not enjoy it. So even players like herO and Classic, whenever we do enter like a Stargate versus Stargate start, they are very quick to transition out of Stargate play and into Blink. Very, very quick to do so. For now though, again, players are incentivized to be more economic and more greedy. So gate expand setup here by Classic. So far, 1 gas, we'll keep an eye on Classic. Meanwhile, Nightmare going for the high ground setup instead. Okay, with this, there's a higher chance we do open up 2 gates instead, and Nightmare can react with a 1 base all in. So eyes are on Nightmare. There it is, 2 gate opener. So Nightmare can be, or he is going to be the aggressor. Classic confirms the initial 2 gate opener. Now, Classic can respond to this with a delayed Nexus. It would be risky to go for that faster Nexus himself. Even though he wanted to do that, now that he's seen the build of choice from Nightmare, it would be very risky. He's going for it. Okay. So gate expand, a greedy build here from Classic. And Nightmare did go for a late scout. True. So late probe scout here by Nightmare after the 2 gate, after the Cyber Core. So Cyber Scout here from Nightmare. When Nightmare confirms what's going on, again, he'll have the option to 1 base all in. We'll have the option. Pokes up the ramp. Confirms. Oh, I forgot he's he's also a Diva Enjoyer. God damn it. Stalker Adept setup here. We do have the 2nd pylon in the main base. We'll keep an eye on the 3rd pylon placement. Gets a 5 probe, does break in, does pull out. And you can see the probe intentionally veering off. Yep, we're setting up for the proxy. 3rd pylon in the main. Now, I will say that it's very obvious if we go for a 1 base all in, and Classic, he knows this, and Classic is going for a defensive robo. So very good call here by Classic. He's assuming that Nightmare is going to try to all in him, so Classic getting a safety battery here on the high ground, and robo into immortal production. Meanwhile, there is a 3rd gateway, so we have confirmation it's a 1 base all in, but Classic was already assuming that was going to happen. So already making that assumption. And we'll see if Classic can pull off this defense. Now, it isn't just that Classic is aware of the potential of the 1 base all in, but the map itself is favoring defensive play as well. So the map will be helping Classic. Pylon is now up. Gateways are finishing. 1 base all in will soon arrive. And Classic has to buy time for the Immortal. He has to buy time There's still a window here where Nightmare can break through. So trying to move in. Yeah, tries to move in. So far the battery putting in a lot of work. Yeah, putting in a lot of work here. Nightmare, he's built up to how many? Up to 6 Stalkers already. Again, a heavy Stalker count here due to those fast warp-ins. Again, the aggression is bolstered here. But the Immortal has arrived. And the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Classic. He's getting a 3rd battery. 3rd battery's on the way. Getting up to 4. Stalkers, they barely stay out of range of the Immortal. Nice pickoffs. Nice snipes. Gets it up. Gets the Stalker. Gets the Sentry as well. Massive pickoffs. The range, it's not long enough. He can't reach. The Immortal, his arms aren't long enough. Now getting into 2 Immortals. Ooh, shields are triggered. Gotta be careful. Has to pull away. The Immortal's gonna be focused down, and the Immortal is gonna fall. Massive pickoff here. 1 Immortal goes down. There's 1 Immortal left. Nightmare gets into the natural. And this might just be too much. This might just be too much here. We needed that 2nd Immortal. Yeah, 4 probes going down. Battery as well. Prism has arrived. But we should be juggling 2 Immortals at this point. Again, every unit counts. Every unit. Oh. Trying to bait out a shot. Oh no. Yeah, it does try to. Prism barely gets away. Saves the Immortal. Oh my god. No. Yeah, fails to save it in the end. Nightmare has done it. Has punished Classic. The 1-base all-in has succeeded. And with that, Classic has nothing left. He's down to 1 Immortal. And this just came down to the 1st Immortal dying. That 1st Immortal being sniped, that was game then and there. Now I say that, Classic, he is trying to buy time in the main base for a 2nd Immortal. Sentry's ready for the force field. That's going to be able to shade in. Going to be shading in. Immortal's getting caught out. Massive pickup. The Immortal should not get away. Bit of a misclick there by Nightmare, but it's fine. He can misclick. It's okay. Oh, the body blocking. Let's go. Yeah, nice body blocking. Boys are being pulled. And again, the Immortal should not escape. Should not escape. Once again, focus down. GG gets called. And Nightmare takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Classic, so far when it came to his build, everything was lining up, but as we mentioned, that 1st Immortal did overextend. When we saw that 1st Immortal get its shield trigger, it was like, oh, we gotta get out. But he stuck around. He stuck around with that Immortal, and as soon as that 1st Immortal went down, that was game then and there. Like again, that was the linchpin of that defense. Classic, he needed to get 2 Immortals and that Prism up and running at the same time to be able to juggle, micro his units, and shuffle his Immortals back and to trade well against the Stalkers. But again, losing that 1st Immortal was brutal. GG. GG, well played. With that, Nightmare does pull off the 1-base all-in. Now going to be loading game number 2. Game number 2 here. But this is also a really good example of showing what we were trying to emphasize earlier, how 1-base all-ins are stronger than previously because of the faster warp-ins, because of the faster reinforcements. You have so many more Stalkers knocking down that front door, and even despite the robo opener, despite the robo follow-up I should say, despite the high ground, despite the batteries, it is still a much more difficult defense here compared to previously. Again, these 1-base all-ins, they hit very hard. And you need a clean defense, Pappy. It needs to be clean. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of at Attorney's Edge. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone, leading the series 1-0. It is Nightmare. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Let's go. Let us go. As welcome to at Attorney's Edge. As opposed to Sanctuary 3, there's no ramp. There's no ramp here, so players are not incentivized to go for a gate expand. This time, Classic is going for the high ground setup instead. So again, there's less of a chance here to see that same dynamic. Instead, we can see Classic be the aggressor as opposed to Nightmare. Eyes are on Classic, whether we open up 2 gates or not. So far mirrored builds. We'll look for any deviation when it comes to our build of choice or when it comes to our units of choice as well. Whether we open up to double Adept, double Stalker, Stalker Sentry, Stalker Adept, Sentry Expand. Maybe we'll see. So we are going to be opening up. There's our 2-gate opener from Nightmare. Classic. Oh. Okay. Just a little bit late. Yeah, so a little bit messy there when it comes to the build is overall for Classic, but still same build, 2-gate opener, just a bit of a late gateway. And here we're setting up. Hello. As looks like Classic, he will hide his 3rd pylon. Being a little bit cheeky here, going for a fake proxy. Fake pylon. So Classic's trying to force an overreaction. At the same time, again, our eyes are on our first units of choice. Based on the rally there, looking like either double Stalker or double Adept. Oh, okay. And it is double Adept. So again, a much more aggressive start here from Nightmare. At the same time, Classic going to be the defender. Double Stalker, the goal here is to catch the Adepts. Meanwhile, Nightmare does scout that a pylon is missing. You can see he's looking for the pylon. And does Nightmare overreact? Nightmare setting up his 3rd pylon on the low ground, so setting up for the expansion actually, okay. As he is searching here on the top side. And there it is, third gateway, Jesus. So 3rd gateway, 1 base all in here from Nightmare. Nightmare is going to double down, he's going to commit. Meanwhile, Classic's going to expand. The double Adept does scout the expansion. So big scout here from Nightmare. And we're getting ready here for the proxy. Ooh, proxy setup. Nice catch on the Adept. Where's the probe? There it is. The proxy pylon's coming in. So again, Nightmare's going for the same build. It is going to be hitting a little bit later just because the pylon is going to be delayed, but here's that reinforcing pylon to all in across the map. Let's go. So again, Nightmare is rallying. Ooh, he will almost get caught out there. Did already lose 1 Adept. Classic being dragged out into the open, getting surrounded actually. Better engage for Nightmare. Get a massive catch. Stalker will go down. 1 more shot. Ooh, massive pickoff. And Nightmare pulls away. So better trade for Nightmare. And again, he's warping in 3 Stalkers at a time, making these reinforcements. They hit so fast. So incredibly fast. And the all-in is coming. Batteries are too late. Catching at 1 sentry, getting 1 and getting 2. Please add a couple of Stalkers though. Messy engage. Yeah, messy engage. Losing Stalkers. Batteries they will finish. Classic is holding. Just as a buy time. Uh-oh. Okay. I assumed that Nightmare was going to focus on the weakened Stalker. As he does try to move in. Again, the batteries are now done. Classic is holding the line. Oof, and Nightmare, now he expands. Yeah, late expansion for Nightmare. Nightmare, he admits that he cannot kill. The all-in is failing. Adepts, they have potential though. They failed to shade in. And Classic looking a lot more robust, better economy, stronger army. Catching at the Stalker, nice control. Gets 1, gets 2. Stalkers go down, Adepts they don't shade into main base, but they do hit the natural. Once again, Classic, very nice force fields. Oh my god, Classic. Calm down. Yeah, locks down the Adepts, massive pickups. And again, there's just a lot of pressure on Nightmare now. A lot of pressure. His Nightmare is just now going to be able to finish up his natural. Looking for another way in. Classic going for the Robo. Nightmare going for the Twilight Council. Okay. Now, Classic is very fond of going Immortal into Glaive Adept. He's very fond of that kind of style. So that's kind of what I'm going to be leaning towards here when it comes to Robo first into a later Twilight Council. Meanwhile, from Nightmare, we'll see how he tries to recover in this game. Blink would make the most sense. Glaives has some potential to harass across the map. But again, it is a shaky early game here for Nightmare. Shaky. And Nightmare's going to blink. That up station to the main base. They get in. Oh, that should not have happened. Getting 1, 2, 3, getting up to 4. Yeah, 4 probes going to be going down. Getting up to 5, 6. Uh-oh. Yeah, 1 more shot. 6 probes. 7. What a mass. Barely. 7 probes go down. Back at home, Immortal production has begun. And again, we are waiting to see the upgrade of choice. We're still waiting. Classic getting a faster third. Okay. Faster third expansion. Again, he cripples the economy. Classic just getting further and further ahead, going into Blink. If we were staying on 2 bases, Glaives would make more sense, but no, Classic is building up into a macro game, into the mid game. So building up the Immortals, going into Blink. Especially after game 1, like Classic is slowing things down. Now, Nightmare is not out of this yet. Things are looking rough, things are looking dire, but there are going to be avenues here to try to shade into mineral lines or bypass the main army, blink into the main, for example. There are ways to recover. They're a little bit fewer and farther between, but it is possible. Especially considering that Blink is about to finish. So again, there's that Blink advantage for Nightmare. So you can try to out-control, try to out-trade. The pressure is on Nightmare. Oof. Oh, God, no. As Classic gets back in, 4 more probes. Yeah, 4 more workers going down. Force fields forcing the Blink. Adepts is still not done. Getting up to 5, getting up to 6. 5. Oh, oh. Oh, my God. 5 probes falling. Diving on the Immortal. Nice force fields, sending back some of the army. Likewise, counter force fields though. 2 Immortals go down. Oh, but the warping is cancelled. Yeah, warping is denied. Classic, better concave. Able to pick off more sentries. Able to catch out some of the stalkers. Pulling back to his third, pulling back to his batteries. And more warpings. Yeah, more warpings, more reinforcements. Oh, he had an Immortal. He had an Immortal just chilling. God damn it. Este Classic. Yeah, GG. GG gets called. The aggression fails, and Classic, he will tie up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played again. It was just a really rough position there for Nightmare. As I mentioned, he went for the 1 base all-in. When the all-in failed, Nightmare, who was just playing from behind, and things got worse when we saw the Adept aggression. We saw so many probes go down to those Adepts. We saw initially it was 6, then we had another 5 workers going down as well, so 11 probe kills in a mirror matchup with a late natural and a late third base as well. So just a very, very rough early game there for Nightmare. He was so dedicated to that all-in, with it failing, it all just kind of fell apart. GG. GG, well played. As you mentioned, there were some avenues there, some ways to recover in the game, some ways to come back, but instead we saw Classic popping off, getting into mineral lands and killing probes himself, whereas it needed to be Nightmare doing that instead. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now tied up. We're tied up 1-1. We're loading to game number 3, going to be loading into Rainfall. Let's go. Getting into game 3. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Rainfall, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss. Oh, the Red Protoss himself, representing Streamer Zone, being forced into a tied series. Can he bring it back? It is Nightmare. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is a classic. Here we go. As we are settling into game number 3, we're currently tied up 1-1, and here we'll be determining who will take a lead in the series. So far we're tied up, and again it has been a hyper aggressive series, which is what we expect out of PvPs, and we expect that trend to continue, by the way. Especially with the current meta, with the current states. One base play, papi. It continues. Whether it succeeds or not, we're here to find out. For now, welcome to Rainfall. Rainfall is a very small map of the map pool. Short rush distance by ground, aggression is favored here, and we'll see how aggressive our players are planning to be. So far, high ground setups for both players, pylon into gate, and we're waiting for an extra gateway into our 2-gate opener. That is what we expect. Those are our expectations. If there it is, 2-gate at Nightmare, 2-gate at a Classic. From here, we're waiting to see if we open up Double Adept, Double Stalker, Stalker Sentry, Stalker Adept, or Sentry Expands. I'll be honest, I have not seen Sentry expand this patch. I don't think it's really viable, to be honest. Like, I feel like it's just too greedy. Considering how favored all ins are, like in the current patch, I feel like, yeah, Sentry Expand is probably out of the meta. Same with double Sentry openers. Like, no shot you get away with double Sentry openers. Like, like that's, yeah, no shot. Hello. As Classic does veer off, and this can be a very committed proxy, actually. Okay, hiding behind the tumors. Shows the pylon. Back at home, Nightmare does come in for the scouts. Does get eyes on both pylons. Oh, Classic locks him in. Yeah, locks him in. At the same time, Classic just going for his own scout as well. We'll scout both pylons. No proxies whatsoever. We do see that Nightmare is setting up for a natural base. Pylon low ground screams expansion. Classic doing the same. Oh, both players looking to expand. Okay. I see you. They look like they want to expand. A double Sentry confirms that for Classic at least, so with this he'll have Hallucination Scouts. Classic will be trying to take his Nexus. And so will Nightmare. So after all the aggression in Game 1 and Game 2, we're calming things down and both players are going 2-gate into a Nexus. Bam. Base for Classic. Nightmare, he scouts first. And then he reacts. Yeah, so... Nightmare, this is going to be a slightly later expansion just because he was relying on scouting information. Oh, shades into the main, kills 1 probe, kills 2. Okay. 2 probes go down, that makes up for it. That makes up for the later expand. And now we can calm down. We can calm things down. Twilight Council here out of Nightmare. Working towards Blink. Meanwhile, Classic getting into Immortal production, a safer build out of Classic. So Robo into Immortals. He can maybe harass with a War Prism. But it's going to be a much more robust army here for Classic. Much more robust. Likewise, Twilight Council out of Nightmare. I think we're going to have a much more tame start. Much more tame compared to Game 1 and Game 2. We're slowing things down, building up. We do see Classic threading shades. He does shade into the vein. Oh, that should not have happened. Aye, that should not have happened. 1, 2, 3, getting up to 4. One more shot. Oh. Ooh, 3. 3 probe kills in the main. At the same time, Nightmare threading the same thing. Does thread the same move. Ooh, does not get into the main. Nightmare is denied. Oh. And again, Classic is holding. And there it is, Immortal into Glaive of Depths. This is the tried and true here for Classic. Going for a very strong timing. Mass Immortal Glaives. Nightmare is going to be in trouble. Nice catch on these Stalkers though. We'll catch two. 1, 2 Stalkers go down, Blink is revealed. Oof, at the same time, Classic does catch out the initial Adepts, and we have a Proxy Pylon to reinforce. How many gateways? So far, only 2. Only 2 gates into the Robo, so not too committed here from Nightmare. Has built up a heavy Stalker count though, and he can blink directly into the main. Oh. Yeah, he's going for the main base. Classic's out of position. Here comes the dive. Going for the pylons, and we might even try to... just go for the pylons. Yeah, just going for the pylons. Immortal's exposed. Does go for the blink. There's 2 Immortals to punish, though. Oh my god, the blink! The force field, he locks down 4 Stalkers. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, 3 Stalkers going down. Does blink further back. 5 probes do fall. Nice economic damage. True. Nice damage, but so many Stalkers. Yeah, they try to recall back home. Oh, 2 more Stalkers fall. In the end, that was how many? That was 7. 7 Stalkers going down, so some heavy losses there for Nightmare. Does escape with a portion of his army and did do a lot of economic damage, but remember, this is a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in, Classic is not expanding, throwing down extra gateways. Glaive's almost done, and Classic will soon commit across the map. So it's all or nothing. How many Immortals? 3. Soon to be 4 Immortals. Oh my god. It's gonna hit very hard. So 4 Immortals, it's going to be up to 6 gateways. So it's a 2-base 6 gate all in. Nightmare, he does trigger the shields on 1. Triggers the shields. This is good though. Nightmare is trying to buy time. He's buying time. The best that Nightmare can do is just keep the army at home. Keep it busy. Oof. Without losing his Stalkers. Nice catch on the sentry. Nightmare pulls away, again just trying to buy time. War Prism is now in production. Classic is coming. Classic is threatening Shades. Threatening those Shades, a backup pylon behind this. Nightmare, does he find them? He does! Very nice catch, getting into the pylons. 1, 2 pylons should go down. Just getting 1. Yeah, just the 1 here. It's going to be quite close. Nice force fields. Again, Classic has a higher Immortal count, but the main army here is still lacking. He needs more depths. And that's moving in. Nice force fields. That's what 3 Immortals, not adding any DPS. Now trying to move in. And better concave. Yeah, better concave here for Classic. Boys are being pulled into Glaive of Depths. Yeah, that's it popping off. We need another Warp in. Ooh, Prism goes down. Massive pick off. Yeah, down goes that Warp Prism. Here come those Warp ins, though. They arrive so quickly. And with that, I believe Classic has done it. Yeah, Classic is breaking through. He will lose 1 more Immortal down to 2. 2 Immortals left. So Depths do go for the Shade. Classic on the Immortal. Boys are being pulled into Mass Adept. And with that, Classic snowballs out of control. He breaks through the main army. Again, it was looking a little bit shaky there for Classic, but he just pulls off the all-in, breaks through the main army, takes down 29 probes. We get more warp ins, more adepts, more adepts. Yeah, shadings to the mineral lines. And the main army just cannot engage with the Immortals. Not like this. Oof. The damage continues. He's going for the dive. He wants one. And he won't get it. He will not get it. I spoke too soon. There we go. There we go. 1 Immortal goes down. There's still 1 left. GG gets called, and Classic will snowball out of control. He will take game number 3, taking a lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Classic will take a 2-1 lead. Once again, winding it back here. Classic, he committed into a 2-base all-in, 6-gate setup on 2 bases. Meanwhile, Nightmare, he was expanding, he was taking up. He did do some nice economic damage, but the main army was struggling. He needed more time. He failed to snipe those pylons. He did snipe the War Prism, which was impressive, but you don't need a War Prism. On this patch, all you need is a pylon. All you need is that one pylon. We saw some fast warpings across the map, and Classic continued with set all-in. GG. GG, well played. Again, I feel like that game also just showcased the strength of the new pylon, and that's why we mentioned that currently PvP is much more aggressive than previously, much more aggressive, due to the fact that we can now commit to fast warp-ins, and it's a really slow investment to commit into these fast pylons without gateways to get very, very fast reinforcements across the map, on par with your opponent's warp-ins. And with that, we're now getting into game number 4, going to be loading into Blackrock. Now, this is a larger map, a bit of a larger map, but it's also very open when it comes to the 3rd and 4th base, if we can get there. Like, we're still expecting, like, 1-base all-ins, 2-base all-ins, like, we're expecting that trend to continue. If we do end up in a longer game, then things can get a little bit more interesting. They can get interesting when it comes to the 3rd, but, again, we'll see if we get there. We'll see. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Blackrock, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. Down in the series, can he bounce back and force the ace match? It is a Nightmare. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss, representing Protoss Pro. It is Classic. Here we go. Whew. As we're getting into game number 4 here, Classic is up 2-1 in this series, and again, it's been very intense games, very fast games as well. A lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins. It's 1-base play, 2-base play. Coming into game number 4, though, we'll see how our players do adjust. Once again, we're getting ready for our 2-gate openers, but we'll keep an eye on the placement of the pylons. Where are we going? I feel like for the most part, we've been seeing that Classic is a lot more willing to play more defensive early on and at least build up to 2 bases and to very commonly go into faster Robo play and faster Immortal play. At the same time, Nightmare has been so much more willing to just play 1 base all in. We've seen it twice so far this series. Do we see it again? Do we see it again? For now, 2-gate. We have our gateways. We're moving out. Oh, I saw that rally though. Classic moving out here towards the right-hand side is veering off. You have my attention. Yeah, it does veer off to the right. For the first time this series, we've seen fake proxy pylons. We have yet to really see a real like proxy robo or something like that from Classic. Based on our positioning here, do we go proxy robo or Stargate? Again, the rush distance by air is quite short, so Stargate would be viable. Rush distance by ground isn't too far away either. For a robo, I mean. For now, we're leaning towards Stargate, but we'll see, we'll see. Waiting for the Cybercore. Just waiting for the Cybercore at the same time, and Nightmare just chilling back at home. Has yet to even go for a Probe Scouts. It's going to be Stalker Adept out of Nightmare, double Adept out of his opponent, out of Classic. And what's it going to be? And it is Proxy Robo. 1 base all in. Let's go. Again, the rush distance by ground isn't too bad here from Classic. I mean, we've seen him even go Proxy Robo from even further away from this than this. But 1 base all in. Proxy Robo for the first time this series. Now, my big concern, if you noticed, Nightmare, he has seen nothing. Like, 0 scouting at a Nightmare. No probe scout whatsoever until now. Will he come across this? Oh. The Adept is gonna... Oh! Oh, he sees! He sees! Wow, the main path here does get eyes on the Robo. Big scout here by Nightmare. He knows. He's aware. Whew, okay. Uh oh. No wall. The MVP probe. No wall of Adept does shade into the main. Probe's going to be going down. How many do we get? 3. At least 3. 1, 2, 3 probes going to be falling. Do we get 4? Do we get 5? No shot. 5 probes go down. Do we get 6? 6 probe kills. Oh my god. The all-in might have been scouted, but that is 6 workers going down. Behind this Stargate opener out of Nightmare has been scouted, going for a third gateway as well, staying over on base. But Classic, he will almost confirm. Almost scouts. We do have a proxy pilot across the map. Nightmare can counterattack. And bienvenidos, welcome to Sturgeon, Sturgeon UK. God, baby God. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. I did see you were grinding the ladder on the new patch. Hope you had a great time. Welcome to the grand finals of the, I almost said the RSL. Sturgeon, of course, is one of the big faces and the big names over at RSL. So thank you so much for what you do for the scene. Your casting, papi. Gracias, gracias. Hope you had a good time. Welcome to the grand finals of the WardiTV Monday. The grand finals, los grand finales. It's been a very intense PvP. Very intense. A lot of 1 base all-ins, 2 base all-ins, as you can imagine, on the new patch. Speaking of, Classic is going for said 1 base all-in. Two of them SHIN to the main. Yeah, they SHIN to the main base. A couple of volleys were a little bit off sync there, but there we go. 3 probes going to be going down. At the same time, Classic moving in. Has high ground vision. And we'll take down the pylon. Slowly working his way through. Nightmare reactively did throw down that Stargate. Getting up to 2 Phoenixes. He can lift. He can try. It does go for the sentries. Force field still does connect. Not good enough though. So as they move in, they catch 1. They catch 1 sentry so far. Gateway does fall down to 2 gates. Again, 2 gates left here. Sorry, 1 gate left for Nightmare. Yeah, down to 1. Just warping in 1 unit at a time. Going for the sentry. Going for the force field. Didn't he get a 3rd gateway in the main? Am I crazy? Am I thought he did. Did he cancel? I saw we saw him throw it in the gateway in the main. But regardless, down to 1 gateway. Oh, let's go. Warrior's on the way. Backup gate as well. There is still that 1 force field. Is now spent. Phoenixes, they get a bit of hull damage on the prism. A little bit of damage. And zoning classing away, buying time. The Void Ray is about to pop out. But there's still plenty of anti-air here is the issue. There's still 6 Stalkers. And they're still warping in. Void Ray is revealed. And there's still one more force field. Yeah, still 1 more. Nice lift. Yeah, it does lift the Immortal, does get caught. It's a massive catch. Immortal goes down, but F-State busts into the mineral line. Oh no! Does get the Immortal, but we'll lose 7 probes in the main. Ay, ay, ay. 8 probes going down. Massive economic damage. Classic expands. The all-in is over. Again, Nightmare did a great job holding here, but it did not matter. It did not matter. The economy is crippled. Classic does not need to move in. Not anymore. Not anymore, papi. Oh. Doesn't quite get that prism. Now we're building up pro production. Twilight Council's on the way. We're taking up. Getting further ahead. Again, there are plenty of force fields here to wall off the ramp, but it doesn't matter. Oh, instead he gets caught out. Yeah, Nightmare gets caught instead. Oh, who catches who? Sentry for 2 Stalkers. Better trade for Nightmare. We'll lose another Stalker, though. And considering that his economy here, this is so much worse for Nightmare. He cannot afford this. Another force field. Oh, Phoenix pulls away. Yeah, a little bit messy here. Oh, no. Who is it? No. Is it me? Palmy. Feels bad, man. Palmy, he was lagging out earlier. He's one of our European casters. Has been having some latency issues, but to be honest, I mean, the Classic is miles ahead. Like, it's still fine. Breaking the main army. GG gets called. GG gets called, and Classic, he will claim the series 3-1. And Classic, he will become this week's WardiTV Monday champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Classic. He will claim the series. My condolences, Nightmare. We had an intense back and forth, a lot of aggression, a lot of 1 base all-ins, 2 base all-ins. Very little macro play here between our two players, as is expected in PvP, especially in that current patch. But alas, we saw that Nightmare, even though he scouted the proxy, he saw the robo ahead of time, we saw that he was unable to keep up with the Adept aggression. Adept just shaded into the main base one too many times, so many probes went down, and even though Nightmare did a great job holding onto the ramp, he failed to defend the mineral line. He lost so many probes to the point where it didn't matter that he was defending the ramp. In the end, Classic was just outscaling him, had a greater economy, higher worker count, and of course, that natural base as well. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Classic. You will claim the series. My condolences, Nightmare. But I will say, though, great job for Nightmare advancing on to the grand finals like this. Nightmare, he's not really a player you expect to see make it this far. So very well done. A very impressive performance here by Nightmare. GG. GG, well played, especially considering that he retired, quite some time ago. And again, Nightmare, he's less active. He's less active than herO, than herO, than Classic. So really well done. GG. GG, well played. Catching up on the rest of the bracket here, we can see the run of our players from the top. We did have Nightmare making it through Trap and ByuN. We, of course, were fortunate enough to cover both those series. Had a very intense back and forth between Nightmare and ByuN, of course. Very back and forth. In the end, Nightmare did come out on top. And likewise, saw that PvP between Nightmare and Trap as well, which also was just full of aggression and full of one-base play. Just catching up. Trap beating herO, goddamn. This is a bit of a PSA, if Sturgeon is still in the chat. Trap did defeat herO, that is true. herO did off race, so just just bear to put that into context. herO did play Zerg for game one. herO played Zerg for game one, lost game one, then he switched to Protoss. But there's some further context to that series. Yeah, herO was having fun. He was having fun. But still an impressive result for Trap, for sure. Still impressive, but yeah, did play some Zerg. Este Sturgeon. Had a good stream. Let's go. Glad to hear, glad to hear. It's half a standard victory. Yeah. For sure. But with that, GG well played. With that, congratulations to our players. Likewise, if you maybe missed out on the SHIN versus Classic series, we saw a lot of Sky Toss. If you were around, Sturgeon especially, I mean, maybe something to come, something to keep an eye on for RSL. If you're around for 2021 era of StarCraft, we saw a lot of Void Rays, we saw a lot of Sky Toss, a lot of Sky Toss rushes out of Classic, and SHIN had a harder time engaging and trying to keep up with that growth that Classic was able to get into, going into triple Void Ray production into Mass Carrier. Not just once either. We saw a lot of Sky Toss, and Classic did shut SHIN down. But again, when it comes to the latest patch, we've been seeing a lot more Sky Toss rushes, whether it's Mass Void Ray or Mothership rushes. We saw that a lot from herO last week. A lot of experimental play and a lot of Stargate based play in recent times for PvZ. So might see more of that in RSL. We'll see, depending on whether or not we get a hotfix before that does occur. But again, with that, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, we do appreciate it. We are wrapping up here for the evening. Again, this is the WardiTV Monday, and it is live on a weekly basis. Usually it's on Mondays, today's on Tuesday because of Home Story Cup. But starting next week should be back to Mondays. Likewise, when it comes to RSL, qualifiers already concluded, and the main season of RSL is beginning this weekend, I believe, the group stage. So do check that out. Again, Sturgeon's going to be covering that alongside GGE Mini and Tasteless over on their respective channel. So do check that out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. It is very late here in Australia. Love to get some rest, love to get some veg. When it comes to our next broadcast here, it should be in a couple of hours time. Bam, as you can see, we're going to be live tomorrow morning. This will be in around 9 hours with Pegasus Cup. Pegasus Cup is tomorrow morning. Expect to see some similar players. Now, we did notice that for today's Wardy Monday, we did have very few Europeans. A lot of them hungover. They had a lot of them, they were busy over the weekend with Home Story Cup, so they're all still traveling, they're all still resting, recovering. I would say there's still a low chance that we see players like MaxPax and Clem and some of the other Europeans. I mean, I guess MaxPax is more available, but we'll see. We'll see if they're able to stay up in time and compete in Pegasus Cup. This Wardy Monday was very Korean heavy due to all that travel that was occurring and due to all the intensity over the weekend. So we'll see if some of the Europeans are available for the Pegasus Cup as well. We'll see. Likewise, we have the podcast tomorrow evening, and we have Home Story Cup replay coverage over the course of the week, leading into Crank Gathers over the weekend as well. Crank Gathers, for those that are unaware, we covered the qualifier last week. It was a lot of fun. It is a StarCraft Evolution tournament featuring the best players in the world. We do have players like herO, Serral, Raynor, Maru. The best players out there are going to be competing in a team league in Crank Gathers. Do look forward to it. Again, that'll be over the weekend. We have SDO and STC as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you want to support us, you can do so by following us on all the socials, !socials in the chat. You can follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all things CranKy Ducklings. We upload on YouTube on a daily basis. And of course, do check out the GSL-CK VOD, as we did cover GSL-CK yesterday, and it was a pretty intense night of StarCraft. It was crazy. Definitely things to maybe even be concerned about when it comes to what happened last night. It was wild, Pat. It was wild. Do check it out. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some Pickers Up. See you tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.